It's yours truly, Probably Pablo, Culture, Lord Productions.
Good morning, South Florida.
This is the Big O Show.
You're tuned into the Big O Show.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. Judge, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio show with Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams, from the Dolphins to the Heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Probably Pablo in the Big O Show. O's on the radio, the top's where we gonna go. Miami, that's the way we roll. Locked on the morning show, we go. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk live and direct, because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live, it's the best of the best. He's got the fans, got the heat, he's the best of the best. Big O, the only talking sports with a style. Break it a morning, it's Big O-N. Thank you for tuning in, keeping it glued in. Stay tuned, because right here's where the rumors in. Same place, because right here some of them begin. Simply call and just state your opinion. Real talk, sports talks, the Big O Show. Yeah, you love it, yeah, you like it, call him and let him know. Culture, Probably Pablo, now introducing the man of the hour, Big O, a.k.a. Orlando Alcigari. Yeah.
Yeah, we're ready to rock and roll. It's a Wednesday, baby. Welcome aboard. You know we're at VSS West Pines because it's a Wednesday. You put a V and a V together, you got a W. It's Wednesday. We're here to rock and roll. We're here to have some fun. It is a big day today, obviously, because it's not often that you have two of your local teams in the playoffs. That's how many cities right now around the country can say, hey, we've got two teams right now in the playoffs. And that's pretty damn cool that Miami has got the Marlins at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then we got the Heat tonight at 9. So we can even deal with extra innings tonight against, or today against Chicago, which hopefully does not happen. What happened, bro? Anyway, so hopefully it does not happen as we're hoping that the boys can get it done in 9 innings as they get ready to take on the Cubs tonight. And, of course, it's all about the Heat and the Lakers. I mean, that's what it's all about, man. I was thinking about this, and we've had some really special moments in sports history. And growing up, I've been able to experience actually all the underdogish type great moments in South Florida sports history. And what I mean by that is it started in 1983 when the Miami Hurricanes beat Nebraska. Because, see, the 70s Dolphins, that wasn't an underdog. You were undefeated, dude. I mean, you were a badass team. In those 3 years, you lost the first Super Bowl, then you went and won the second and third one. It wasn't a surprise, you know what I mean? Little old University of Miami coming out of nowhere with Bernie Kosar at quarterback and Howard Schnellenberger and all that good stuff to take down big, bad Nebraska in those days was something incredibly special because it allowed the football program to break through and obviously build on all those other championships that they won after that. And it's been, a heck of a program. I know as of the last few years, it's been down, all that, but they're trying to recapture it. But my point is, that was the first great championship moment for them. And after that came the 2003 Marlins. Because the Marlins of 97, they weren't a surprise. That was a hell of a team. That was a team that, when you put it together, you had World Series aspirations. Not in 2003. In 2003, you end up going to the finals against the Yankees. And you're a bunch of young guys with a couple of veterans, and they all have career years. They put the magic together from May on after they make the managerial change. They call up Cabrera, they call up Dontrell Willis, and the rest is history. And they go on to beat the bad Yankees. See, when Miami won the championship in '06 with Shaq and Wade, that wasn't a surprise. When you win it with the big three, that was not a surprise at all. So now we fast forward to 2020. And tonight starts a Heat team that nobody really expected in the finals at the beginning of the year. Come on, man. I mean, we didn't expect a pandemic. We didn't expect them to end up in a bubble, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But even going into the bubble, I don't care what Jimmy Butler says. Okay, and I know they've run that soundbite over and over again where he, did the interview with oh God, I'm forgetting her name now from The Jump, Rachel Nichols. And he was saying, I really believe we got a chance and all that. And that's all well and good. Lots of teams felt that they have a chance, okay? But realistically, it just didn't look like Miami was going to end up in the title game. You know what I mean? Come on. And so now nobody's picking Miami to win either. All the experts, they're going to pick the Lakers. They're going to go with the two best players on the court. They figure with LeBron and AD, it's over. And so really Miami is not supposed to be here. Not picked to win the series, a monster underdog in this series overall. So this might be that next great championship moment for South Florida sports. And I don't know if it's going to follow Canes, Nebraska, Marlins, Yankees. But, I mean, we haven't had one in this sport, right? All we need now is for the Panthers to kind of sneak in and Inter Miami to get to the MLS Cup in their expansion year. You know what I mean? To kind of add to all of that in those championship moments. Because, remember, all the Canes championships after that weren't a surprise anymore. 85 wasn't a surprise. 87 wasn't a surprise. 89 wasn't a surprise. 91 wasn't a surprise. Not 85. I don't know why I said 87. 87, 89, 91, and then obviously 2001.
Surprises were losing.
Right. Surprises were losing. Exactly. And so this is, it could be the third chapter of absolute, storybook ending for a South Florida team to follow the '03 Marlins and the '83 Hurricanes. Oh, and just to have a little fun, okay, because I keep saying Canes won it in '83, right? Marlins won it in 2003, right? What do I say is going to happen in 2023?
That would be the day the fins swim.
I'm just saying, 20 years, 83, 2003, 2023. I'm just saying.
I like where you're going with this.
I'm just saying. That's all.
So you're saying go out and get your 2023 calendars already?
You could get your 2023 Miami Dolphin World Champion shirts if you want already. Okay, I'm just saying. That's all. I'm just saying. But anyway, I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm certainly going to pull for it. That's for sure. And it's going to be a lot of fun to see the drama behind all of this. It's going to be fun to see because there are two characters in this battle tonight, and one of them is LeBron, and the other one is Pat Riley. And Pat's not coaching. Pat's not in the locker room. Pat's not there to motivate the players. All of that. He is kind of motivational with his presence there. You know what I mean? That's something that I know that the other players look at, and obviously they admire that the Godfather is there watching and rooting the boys on. But the two people that want this championship badly, we know Spo wants it. We know Jimmy Butler. I mean, you're going to talk about a guy that's going to sell out. You're going to watch that. But right now, to get to this point, the guys that want this badly, and they will do anything to get it, will be LeBron and Riley. LeBron and Riley, I know that they kind of made up and all that, but still deep down inside, Riley's pissed. Riley's still pissed about all of this. Riley's still pissed that LeBron, the first chance that the thing went awry, he took off and went somewhere else, and he gave up. And, Riley's not a quitter. He's just not that dude. And he wanted to fight through all of this because he felt like he could rebuild around LeBron. And he's proven it already that he rebuilt without LeBron and got to the NBA Finals now. So he proved that if LeBron would have stayed, they probably would have gotten back to the finals a lot faster than 2020. But that's fine. And now there wouldn't be a sweeter championship for the Heat than this one right here. This would be, in Riley's eyes, probably the sweetest championship because it's like I say, 2003 Marlins and 97 Marlins, they're both champions. But the 03 one is always a little bit more special because those youngins overcame everything. 2001, 91, 87, all those championships are 89, all those championships are enormous for the Canes. 83 is still the most special one because of what you were overcoming, how you broke through, how you established a program, all of that stuff. Jim Kelly and company were already establishing it with their Peach Bowl win and all that, but that championship is what started it all. And that championship, no, you're fine. You're fine. That's the cure, bro. You're fine. Anyway, so just that whole championship vibe, it just kicked it off. And it was just one of those things that when, you overcome Goliath, it's a beautiful accomplishment when you're able to do that, right? And that's why I'm just saying that if Miami is able to beat the Lakers, it is beating Goliath. It would be, out of their 4 titles, because that would be their 4th, this would be the sweetest one out of the 4. It would be. I mean, it's the one that nobody expected. And that's what happened in 2003 with the Marlins. Nobody expected it. That's what happened in 83 with the Canes. Nobody expected it. So it's pretty awesome.
Remember that Nebraska team, they were averaging 500, 600 yards a game.
Monsters.
They were being talked about
Monsters.
as the greatest college football team ever.
Yeah.
That's the way they were being mentioned with that.
And well-deserved.
Rozier and Fryer and their defense, I mean, they were, at that time, the best probably team college football had ever seen.
Yeah, well, I don't know about 79 USC, probably a little better still, but I get what you're saying. They were right there. No doubt about that. But it just, tonight, it starts, and the drama, and it's just going to be so personal for a couple of these guys. And it's going to be a lot of fun for Eric Spoelstra. It's nice to see that Eric Spoelstra is getting the respect that he deserves overall. I just think that is absolutely fantastic. A lot of us have been praising Spoelstra for years now. Some of us have to defend Spoelstra because we've had some people in town that were like, they didn't think he could coach or whatever. LeBron James had a really good soundbite. He was asked about Spoelstra. Malika Andrews, who's been covering the playoffs for ESPN, she asked LeBron about, Spo and not getting the respect that he deserves. And listen to LeBron's comments.
Well, that's a question for you guys. And the players and the coaches know how great Spo is. And there's this narrative that Spo is not great, and the narrative that he doesn't get a lot of respect, which he should. He prepares his team every single night. If you just watch the Miami Heat, no matter who's out on the floor, they're going to play Heat culture. They're going to play hard. They're going to play together. That's what he's always been about. And it's been you guys have changed the narrative or has never given Spo his respect because he had D-Wade or he had myself, he had Bosh. But a lot of coaches have talent. A lot of coaches have had talent over the NBA over the course of this league. That's not one. You know, and it's unfortunate that he hasn't gotten his respect. And every time we talk about Spo when I was there and talk about how great he prepared us, and we all talked about it's great playing for Spo and things of that nature, you guys always say, well, you know, you have LeBron, you have D-Wade, you have Bosh. Any coach can do it. No. Any coach can do it. If any coach could do it, then there'd be a lot more champions in this league. There'd be a lot more successful coaches. So the Spo likes it. That's what fuels Spo is the disrespect that you guys give him, the basketball world. But I'm not going to sit up here and act like I don't know what Spo is all about because he's damn good, if not great. Probably is great because it's preparation. He prepares like it's his last time ever coaching again every game, and I know that.
It's an amazing soundbite. It's all true, by the way, about Spo. And I commend LeBron for speaking the truth. The only thing is, I wish that he wouldn't have left out that he wanted to get Spo fired when he was with the Heat. You know what I mean? Because he did his regular bullshit that he does in every stop that he does pretty much, that the coach isn't good and he gets coaches fired left and right. Okay? So, I mean,
Try to totally overtake your organization and run it.
right, exactly. And you're not going to run a Riley organization because that's just not – it's Riley that runs the organization. And so Riley knew that Spo was a really good coach. LeBron now believes what he just said. He did not believe what he just said when he was with the Heat. Okay, so, you know, remember, LeBron's a hell of a player. LeBron is not perfect, okay? He's not a bad person, but he is a selfish person. He is all about himself. He's selfless on the court, but off the court, he's all about himself. And that's the way he's going to run his life. And you know what? So far, it's worked out perfectly for him. You know what I mean? I got no problem with that. But he has a level of phoniness to him that it's obvious, it's there. We've seen it in many examples. And this was just one of them right there. Okay? I mean, seriously. Even when you were making the decision to leave your best friend hanging, you know, that's just, I don't know. There are things about LeBron that I don't like, and there are moments where I kind of see through the BS, and this was one of those moments that I don't believe he's lying. I believe he believes that about Spo, but I also believe 10 years ago he didn't think that way of Spo. He didn't believe in Spo that way. And then that's why he tried to coax Riley into changing coaches. And eventually that's why he's not here, because he thought guys got old and then he wasn't going to have control of what was going to happen on that team. Like all of a sudden they need help in personnel, which that's never been an issue for the Miami Heat. They'll figure out personnel on their own. Thanks, but no thanks, LeBron. You know, the majority of your championships are still because of the Miami Heat. Okay? Let's get that straight. That's why if Miami can beat LeBron, this would be a great, great moment for the franchise. And I think in the end it would send a message to LeBron. You realize that if Miami wins this series, they have as many titles as LeBron has since he left the Heat. Okay? So I'm just saying, it would be really, really interesting if somehow or another they pull this one out. All right, let me go through a little roll call here. Flipside fishing. First one in. The president, Alexa V, is second in. NorCal's and Puff Puff Give. Man of 1,005 holds is in. Robert Triana. Alex Opelia says, let's go Heat. Kick LeBron's ass up and down the court. Julius 305 is in. Clifton Wellman is in. Matthew Walker. Anthony Manzano. Troy Ortiz. Lewis Bryant. ATL is in the house. Man of 1,005 holds. Gus 1388. Let's see. Flipside says it's an awesome accomplishment by the Heat. And Cookie Vice chiming in with the first super chat of the day. Heat in 7, staying positive, Big O. Well, why would you be negative? There's nothing to be negative about, man. The Heat are a fantastic franchise. Adam Pinkser says, nothing like rooting for the Marlins and the Heat on the same day in the postseason. How crazy is 2020? Too crazy, brother. Too crazy. Willie Osborne, Pat will have the Heat play. Pat will have Miami Heat play ready for game tonight. Okay. Well, Pat's not coaching, bro. Miami Heat will dare fourth NBA championship. Okay, I got you. Let's see. Myron chiming in on a super chat. He says, finally it's here, Heat versus Lakers. My wish came true because whoever wins, I will be happy. But Kobe is with my Lakers in Seoul. By the way, last night, debate one word, circus. Yep. Yeah. Lowest point in our country for me. Let's see what else we talking about here. David is in. More grace and respect in an average hockey what? More grace and respect in an average hockey fight team than a Preston. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Let's see, what else do we have? I don't really want to get into the politics, guys. I did enough of it for 4 months and we didn't have it. I got all sports going on right now. I just want to stay away from the politics. I get what it is, and I know what happened. I watched every minute of it.
We saw what we saw. It is what it is, right?
Yeah. That's just, you know.
The only thing. Is there going to be two more?
Nothing. That's it. No, there won't be no more. That'll be the last one.
Totally agree.
That'll be the last one. Anyway, so Mike is in. Good afternoon, everybody. Drew Boo is in. Robert Ritchie is in. He's got a Let's Go Fins in there. Let's see. Mike says, picked up Fitzmagic to start this week in fantasy football. Wow. Well, that's a good one because Seattle can't defend the pass. So that's actually a really smart move on your part. There's no arguing that the Lakers have the two best players in the league. From 3 down, Miami has the much better players, but still we're going up against LeBron. Yep. You know what, Antonio? I am with you. To me, the Heat is deeper. The Heat is a better team. The Heat has a better roster. The Lakers have the 2 top stars. That's it. They don't have the better coaching staff. They don't have the better franchise. They don't have the better team. They don't have the better team chemistry. It's the Lakers with 2 stars, and that's it, dude. That's it. But that's what you need in this league. You need superstars. And if you have 2 or 3 of them, you're going to set yourself up. That's bottom line. But Miami is way deeper and way better overall as a team. Up and down that roster, it's not even close.
Top 10 players on the court. They've got the 2, and then we've got 3 through 10, right?
Yeah,
Before you touch.
It's the rest.
Their next player, right?
It's the rest. Everything is better with Miami. Everything. Okay, the coaching is way better. Frank Vogel is nowhere near Eric Spoelstra. The Lakers organization is garbage. They're living on history. They got nothing in the front office. All they did was that they were able to sign 2 stars. That's it. That's all it is. They got 2 stars and a bunch of whatever next to them, and none of those guys are anything special right now.
They even tried to bring the third, and they weren't able to accomplish it, right? They tried.
Yeah, no, I'm sure they tried to bring in some other names, but they don't have a lot of cap space because of those 2 guys. But still, in the end, to me, Miami has all the advantages in a lot of areas. But the problem is what levels everything off is when you have 2 superstars. And that's what they have in LeBron and AD. And that's the part that Miami cannot match. And when you have those kind of dominant players, that's what Miami has to try to figure out and overcome. Because, see, the beauty of Miami can beat the Lakers many, many ways. The Lakers can only win with 2 guys. Kuzma's not beating you. Caruso's not beating you. Rondo's not beating you. None of the rest of the guys on the Lakers are beating you. Anybody can beat you on the Heat. Dragon and Tyler get hot, you're done. You know, Jimmy Butler and Bam get going, you're done. That's just the way that Duncan gets going, you're done. There's lots of guys that can actually score points for the Miami Heat, whereas they've got to count on 2 guys to be absolutely awesome every single night. In this series, if AD or LeBron have an off night, Miami wins the game. But Miami has the kind of depth that the Lakers don't. They have the kind of balance that the Lakers don't. So to me, that's where this series is, where Miami has a lot of the advantages, but they lack the advantage in the most important area, which is superstars, because you only have 5 guys on the court. And if 2 of your 5 are superstars, that just changes the face of your game. So I really love everything else about Miami outside of having the 2 best players on the court. And that's where kind of things will balance out. So to me, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I don't believe it's going to be a walk in the park. I don't believe the Lakers are going to have their way with Miami. I don't believe any of that, because by now you've noticed that this isn't the Heat team at the beginning of the year. No, we're not the 24-8, but the one that was like 500 for almost 40 games. You know, that team was a team that I don't know what the hell was going on. They weren't playing well on the road, but they don't have to go on the road. You know what I mean? They don't have to worry about the Laker fans and playing at the Staples Center and traveling across country and all of that. In this environment, they are wired to perform at the highest level. And this environment has allowed them to get to where they're at right now. And they're really comfortable in this environment. And they're really confident right now compared to maybe that team in the stretch in the middle of the season that probably wasn't, a confident club. 786-322-1105. We're out here at VSS West Pines. Come on out here, man. Get your hookah pipe for tonight so you can relax. Hookah up while you're watching the Marlins and the Cubs in the afternoon, while you're watching the Heat and the Lakers tonight. You need maybe a new water pipe? Come on out here. Get yourself a new water pipe out here, man. Got an Inter Miami one, too.
There's plenty of them to choose from.
Plenty. Plenty. Got your CBD products. Got some THC. Got, what else? I mean, we got the e-juice. So all those things that you need to kind of relax and chill and enjoy the games, come on out here to VSS West Pines. 12397 Pembroke Road here in Pembroke Pines, and we'll be out here for a few hours. So come on by. Will Mansell, by the way, from Channel 10 and Heat TV, he's going to join us at 2:30. So we'll have a little fun with Wilf, and we'll talk a little Heat with him. No problem there. Orlando, in order for the Florida Panthers to be a successful franchise, making the playoffs every year, do you think the current ownership might have to sell the ownership to the Heat or the Dolphins? Did you guys bring the same thing up yesterday? Bro, go listen to the podcast yesterday. I already answered all of that. Let's see. I got to tell you, that is one of the best things about doing this show this way is on radio, you repeat yourself a lot. Here, I don't have to repeat myself. I just tell you, hey, go to the podcast. I already answered that. It's there. Okay? Richard says, go Heat. This series reminds me of the 2011 season. Heat came in as favorites, but Mavs came in as a team and found a way to beat us. Hopefully history repeats in a good way. Well, Miami is a better team than the Lakers. The Lakers aren't a team. The Lakers are two stars. That's it. That's all they are. They're two stars. It's just a bunch of Jags around that play off the stars. But it's not like it's a roster that, nothing scares you, bro. What might scare you is what color Kyle Kuzma's hair might be tonight. But Kyle Kuzma does not scare you as a player. Rondo doesn't scare you as a player. None of these guys scare you as a player. Now, Tyler Hero might light your ass up if you don't watch out. And Duncan Robinson will light your ass up if you don't know what the hell's coming. And Goran Dragic will light your ass up because they've been doing it. Kyle Kuzma doesn't light anybody up. Okay? Now, Kyle Kuzma, if he comes here to VSS West Pines, he might have some stuff to light up. But he ain't going to light up the Heat. You know what I mean? And that, to me, is the part that I like about this matchup. Miami is deeper. And if they figure out a way to slow down LeBron, slow down AD, all those kind of things, and listen, not that I want it to happen, but, Anthony Davis is a little fragile. So that's the other thing. Get physical. Anthony Davis may not respond well to being physical. You know what I'm saying?
Should we take?
I think. Anthony Davis. He should have his name on the bottom, but on the top it should say "handle with care" is what it should say.
Should we incorporate the old Bulls, the way they'd use the three-headed center, and just those guys would use all 5 fouls? Remember?
What was that again?
The Bulls back in the day would have the three-headed center. And all of them would have 5 fouls.
Yeah, but
Cartwright, Worthington, and what was it? Whittington and
but they have the three-headed center, not us. They have it.
But I'm talking about sending all the bigs.
I get that.
Pound them.
You're not listening to me. They have the bigs. We don't. Our bigs are outside of Bam. We're done, bro. We're done. Myers Leonard and Olynyk. They have Howard. They have JaVale McGee behind Anthony Davis. They have 3 defensive centers. We only have 1 because the other 2 guys aren't known for any defense. They're not stopping a cold. So they have, they have plenty of centers. So and better centers overall because of the 3 deep. Defensively, our guys are probably better at shooting in a group, obviously. But still, it's just they're not physical. And so they've got plenty of centers, and we don't have enough to hand fouls. You know what I'm saying? Bam is going to have to be very careful in this matchup and not pick up the silly-ass fouls. That will be very, very important. Okay? If your Heat wins, I will be happy, but, man, let's go. All right? Orlando, I think, in my honest opinion, Spo is one of the more underrated coaches nationally because it seems like national media doesn't give them enough credit. Do you agree with that? I don't think he's underrated anymore. I don't believe that anymore. I think people that actually follow basketball know that Spo is a great coach. We have to get past all of this already. Spo's a great coach. It's not he's one of the best. Oh, he's damn good. There are no more labels we put to this or any kind of what's the word that I'm looking for? God, I'm trying to. Anyway, my point is, the guy is a great coach, a Hall of Fame coach already. Okay, he's 8th all time in playoff wins in NBA history. Let me repeat that again. He's already 8th all time in playoff wins in NBA history. Do you understand that? That's some nasty stuff, dude. I mean, come on. So, and all he's going to do is climb that ladder when it's all said and done, because he's not going anywhere. He's young. And he's exceptional. I mean, Miami has 2 great coaches in its history, okay? Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra. We've had some other ones that are all right. You know, I think, Stan Van Gundy did a nice time for a short time and stuff. But these 2 guys are the great, great coaches of all time. And I got to tell you something. Spo's the better tactician out of the 2. Riley's the better motivator. And I bet if I cornered Riley and I said, all right, coach, I know you're great, but Spo's a little better than you are as a tactician, isn't he? I bet you he would admit it. And I know Riley's the better motivator. You know, whether Riley would want to admit it or not, I bet Spo would admit that. Because I don't think that Spo's thing is more about intellect. It's more about player design, the scheming things. That's how he gets an advantage. That's how he gets his respect from his players, because they know he knows what the hell he's doing. And then every time they go out and have success because of what he told them to do, you're done. That's it. As a player, you're like, dude, I'm doing whatever coach says. Because when coach designs this, that, and tells us to do this and that, we win. So that's why Coach Spo has the respect of his players. I think Riley's one of those guys that knows basketball, knows how to build a team, all that stuff, but he is one of the great motivators of all time. And that's why I think he also is, part of his greatness, and I think that's one of his strengths. You know what I mean? I think he's one of the best ever when it comes to motivating. It's pretty cool. We've been blessed with those 2 guys and what they bring to the table. Nelson says, it's a shame that Spo wasn't even considered for Coach of the Year, given how much this team exceeds expectations, even in the regular season. Yeah? A lot of the winning coaches, they don't get Coach of the Year. Like Riley rarely won it. Phil Jackson rarely won it. Those kind of guys didn't win it every time either. It's weird like that. That award is kind of twisted. But by this time, if you don't flat out just say Spo is one of the great coaches ever in NBA history, then you're already doing a disservice to the guy. That's all. Forget about one of the best coaches right now. He's one of the best coaches of all time, period. And he has shown it to us over and over again with all kinds of teams, with adversities in the middle of a season, with multiple adversities in the middle of a season where he had to adjust and change offenses and schemes 2 or 3 times in a year. Spo, for me, is just at an absolutely another level when it comes to coaching. So there you go. All right, let's do this. It's the bottom of the hour. Let's take a quick break. 12:30, baby, coming to you live from VSS West Pines. Got a couple things that we want to talk about here on the show. Got some football stuff. Got the Marlins in action at 2 o'clock. Let's see, what else do we have? Got some NFL news, too. I got an NBA player that's an absolute sourpuss. We'll rip him next.
Hey, it's Big O. For all of your CBD, THC, or hookah needs, you got to get on down to VSS West Pines at 12397 Pembroke Road. Yes, they have got legal THC. You've got to check it out. And they've got, of course, when it comes to CBD, flower, tinctures, edibles, for all kinds of reasons, whether it's pain, stress, anxiety, you name it. And don't forget, when you mention my name, you'll get 20% off. Tell the boys out there that I told you to get on down to VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road, and call them 954-613-3367. Legal THC, CBD, all of your hookah needs. You go to VSS West Pines.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com. A travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction. Listen, I've been telling you about Eric for a long time now. Custom home builder for additions, home remodeling. We're not talking about a handyman. Maybe you want to redo that man cave. We're not going to a lot of live sporting events. So you want to improve that experience in your man cave? Call them 305-433-4843. Tell them that Big O sent you, and go to the Instagram page. You can see the before and after there. You'll be impressed. EJD_construction. Call them 305-433-4843 or go to the website ejdconstruction.com.
America's premium sports sedan is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. TLX $259 a month, $259 at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
All right, welcome back. We're out here at VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on out and join us. We'll be out here for a couple of hours. If not, if you can't get here in time, come on by. Get all your hookah needs, any of your CBD needs. You know, you want to chill out a little bit. You want to relax. You want to relieve that anxiety, that stress. We got the CBD to help you with that. So come on by out here at VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road, and see the boys. And I promise you that they will definitely take care of you. Pizza Guy says, for everybody thinking the Lakers are going to win, you have another thing coming. I'm a Miami Heat fan, and we got this far, and there's no reason why we can't close the deal. You could call me a homer, that's okay, but the Miami Heat, the number 5 seed, are in the championship against LeBron. It's simply amazing. And remember, there is no home court advantage. I like it. I like it. I just think the Heat have a team, man. And I don't believe the Lakers are a team. I think the Lakers are 2 superstars with a bunch of guys. You know, and that's kind of what it is. I don't really see that team playing together the way the Heat does. It's not even close. It's just a bunch of guys that try to feed off of two stars because those are the guys that have got to carry it. It's not like they go featuring everybody. Whereas in the Heat, they feature everybody. Hell, in the closeout game, all of a sudden Iguodala got into it and started to score, which that would be really nice if you can add that to this game. Because tonight, you're going to see Jimmy, you're going to see Jay Crowder, you're going to see Iguodala, all covering LeBron. You're going to see a whole slew of guys try to do all of that because what you want to do is try to make life more difficult for LeBron and then force everybody else to try to beat you. And it'll be also interesting to see because they're not big on double teaming nearly as much, but they'll be help defense is what it'll be. And so it'll be interesting to see how Spo designs the defense to be able to help out with LeBron and I'm sure a little bit with AD because you don't want to get Bam into foul trouble right away. And Bam's got to be really, really smart. And let me tell you something. Bam also, in that final game where he kind of like, all right, I'm taking over, he wanted to take that next level step on his own because he blamed himself for Game 5. And so he came back for Game 6 with a vengeance. If you get that Bam in this series now every night, which is, I got to tell you, you need that Bam every night. Because remember, if Bam is aggressive, then he's got a chance to put AD into foul trouble. And that would be absolutely enormous if you do that. Because if you get one of the superstars in foul trouble, again, they're not like the Heat. That the Heat have other people to pick them up. The Lakers do not. They don't have any consistency out of the top two guys. They just don't. There's not a guy there that they can really count on every single night. They're just hoping that a guy fills in here, fills in there, something like that. That's it. It's a completely different structure that they've got with the Lakers compared to the Miami Heat. That's why I believe they've got a shot in this series. I'm gonna pick the Heat. By the way, I'm picking the Heat in 6 in this one, not 7. I'm picking the Heat in 6 in this one. I think the three-point shooting is going to be a real problem for the Lakers. And I think if Miami can slow them down and make them more of a half-court offense, I think that will be a killer for the Lakers. I really believe that. So we'll see. Because I have now bought into what this Heat team is in this bubble. And they are just focused the right way, man. Let's see what else. Orlando, I don't honestly think the Heat or possibly setting up Eric to be a replacement for Pat Riley as team president when Pat retires. But what worries me is who's going to replace Eric as head coach. Why are you thinking that right now, bro? I don't understand that. Some guy sent me a text last night. Hey, do you think the Giants are going to let go of they're going to move on already from Daniel Jones? And who would you draft if the Giants end up with the number 1 pick? And I'm like, dude, we're entering week 4 of the regular season. I don't know if I'm not a Daniel Jones fan, but I can't say he's failed yet. He's only in his 2nd year. How about giving him some time? Maybe he becomes a hell of a player or something. And I don't know if the Giants win a bunch of games now and they don't have a shot at number 1, or they're going to lose all 16. I have no idea, dude. It's like, so I would say the same thing to you. It's like, why are you worried about that now, bro? The Heat are in the finals. Why would you want to even think about when Spo moves up because Riley leaves? I don't think Spo will move up anyways. I think Spo loves being a coach. It'll be Nick Harrison that'll take over, but none of that stuff is like, at this point, it's not important right now. Let's wait till it actually happens, then we'll talk about it. Right now, dude, let's enjoy the NBA Finals, please. I mean, wow, you just want to bog yourself down with that kind of crap right now? That part I don't understand. Anyway, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program, that's 786-322-1105. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always, because as you know, that's a 24-hour talk show there on Twitter where you can reach us. The Titans-Steelers game has been postponed on Sunday. It's been pushed back to Monday or Tuesday. I have a serious question to ask people now. If it's pushed back to Tuesday, how do they handle it on the fantasy? Because your weekend's on Monday. The computer starts the following week on Tuesday. So how do you do that? I'm not sure. That one's kind of strange. Okay. I hope you don't. If you have Tennessee Titans or Steelers, look out. I do have Big Ben, but I'm going to play Breeze anyway, so it doesn't really matter. What do we have here? RVA is chiming in. Oh yeah. Wow. Okay. What happened here? Damn. Okay, this is odd. It's like I get RVA, but then it got like reset to the beginning of last year when we started this. So it goes through all his texts that he has sent since then. So I've got to like kind of scroll all the way up to get to the point of where we're at for today. To read RVA's tweet. This is weird, bro. Okay, here we go. Big O, I promise you, if Lakers lose, start the Doc Rivers rumors. Okay. Yeah, he'll get that guy fired. That makes sense. I gotta say, that makes sense. Why not?
I could see the Clippers, because there's the Lou talk that LeBron would head him off. Beat the Clippers. I need him back, right? Because that's his buddy.
Oh yeah, Tyronn Lue, yes.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Timo, good day. Get it right. LeBron, you cabron. James in the DR. James, what's up, baby? Thank you again, James, for your support and your super chat. Thank you, sir. Very kind. Very, very kind. Too kind. Let's see. What else do we have here? Big O wanted to congratulate you for all your work and how good of a sports talker you are. Hands down, you are the best. Well, that's too kind. And you know what you're talking about. And keep up the good work. You killed it the other day about having cojones. That was good stuff. Listener to that segment 3 times because it was that good. Love your show, man. Keep up the good work. I'm here for you from Naples. Been listening to you for a long time. Thank you, my friend. That is very, very kind of you, man. I appreciate it. And thank you for keeping it locked here on the show. That is awesome. And your support is priceless. Let's see who is next. Big O, I had checked the presidential. Oh, man. This is weird today. Okay, where is it? There we go. Okay. Big O, I had checked the presidential debate for a couple of minutes. It's such a joke. It's coming down to the Trump-Biden for president. And by the way, I will be enjoying a lot more Broncos and Jets game instead. G from Pennsylvania. Now, I got to tell you something. It is a crime that we've got to watch Jets and Broncos on Thursday night. I mean, it's terrible because for many reasons. One, it's bad football. Adam Gase is a joke. But the worst part is that this could be the game that gets Adam Gase fired. Because if he loses to the Broncos, word is he could be out on the street. You got Manish Mehta writing all kinds of great stuff about him and tearing him up, which is a beautiful thing. But as a Dolphins fan, I want Adam Gase with the New York Jets for the next 30 years, bro. I don't want him going anywhere. I love when Woody Johnson or Chris Johnson or whatever Johnson is there is saying that, no, Adam Gase is a genius. I love that. I'm like, all right, you guys are, you're so full of it. You have no idea what the hell you're talking about. And you want to keep the guy there? Great. But that's the sad part, that, we could end up losing Adam Gase. And I don't know, man. It's kind of a lot of fun watching the entire NFL world laugh at Adam Gase. Not just us Dolphin fans, but the rest of the world. And then, you got to love that last week, the Jet fans, they tried to have a rally about getting Gase fired, and 4 idiots showed up. I mean, Jet fans, you have got to be like the biggest losers in the world, where you've got Adam Gase and you call a rally and you got 4 guys showing up. And the fact, think about this. If there are military type of, let's say, interviews going on right now with any of the enemy, and you want to, instead of, maybe you can't waterboard, you can't do some of that stuff, you want to make them talk, force them to watch that Broncos-Jets game. They will give up every bit of information from their country. It's a beautiful thing. That's what we got to do. But I got to say, will they put like an R rating on that Jets-Broncos game? I mean, you got to hide the kids, right? You can't allow your kids to watch that stuff. I mean, seriously. First of all, your kid sees Adam Gase and his crazy eyes. That might do some personal damage right there. Your kid might never be the same again if he has to watch Adam Gase's crazy eyes. That might scare the crap out of him. In fact, I'm thinking about this now. We should all write I encourage the people here at VSS West Pines. We got Halloween coming. I think they should buy Adam Gase masks, because that would scare the living shit out of everybody out there if you're wearing an Adam Gase mask. I guarantee you that. You show up to a house trick-or-treating, you will get beat up or shot with an Adam Gase mask. Okay? They're not going to give you candy. They're going to want to give you an ass-kicking is what they're going to want to do if you're wearing an Adam Gase mask. It could be the #1 seller in Halloween this year, an Adam Gase mask. Imagine with those eyes, just the crazy eyes. Just you're walking around with a mask that has the crazy eyes. It's awesome. You would make a fortune. Somebody comes up with an Adam Gase mask. That's it. It's awesome. And here at VSS West Pines, we will add a hookah pipe to it, too. That way, there's a reason why your eyes are going crazy, because, you're maybe a little smoked up or something, Telling you. Adam Gase. That is the Halloween item of the year, an Adam Gase mask. That's the kind of present right there that would put anybody over the top. Can you imagine walking in to a haunted house where everybody is wearing an Adam Gase mask? Now, that would be scary as hell right there. Heart attacks. I mean, it'd be pretty bad. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the text line. That's 786-322-1105. Did you guys see Scottie Pippen? I got to tell you, Scottie Pippen, I get that that Pippen did not enjoy his representation in the documentary with Michael Jordan. But Scottie Pippen kind of brought all of this on himself, okay? He's the idiot that mishandled his contract. He's the one that wanted to sign a 7-year contract. He's the moron that actually, you're calling the play for Kukoc? Nah, I'm not going to go in. He's the guy that had the headache and couldn't play. And so now Scottie Pippen comes out and rips the NBA bubble play. And so I think it was USA Today that he was talking to. And he basically downplayed everything that's gone on in the bubble. He kind of said that it's, he says, well, I'm going to be honest. It's not NBA basketball. It's not the hard grind. You mean like the hard grind, like the one that you backed out of? That hard grind? The one that you didn't want to go in for the final play? I'm just wondering. Anyway, it's not the fans. It's not the distractions. Really, to me, it's pickup basketball. It's going to the gym. Yeah, you already got your team. Y'all practicing together. But it's more of a pickup type basketball game. Really? Okay. Because there's no fans in the stands. There's no distractions. There's no real noise. There's no pressure on the players, you know? Did you watch Doc Rivers get fired and the Clippers get ripped? There's no pressure on them? Really? Okay. Prime example, I looked at Rondo. Ain't made three-pointers his whole NBA career. Now all of a sudden he's in a bubble and he's probably at 50% three-point shooter. I haven't even checked the stats. Well, he's not really 50, dude. He hit a few three-pointers. Okay, he's not doing that in every game. In a couple of games, Rondo actually hit some threes. Rondo is, by the way, look at Jay Crowder. It's called streak shooting, dude. When you're Rondo and you're Jay Crowder, you will be a streak shooter. You're not great shooters. There's a huge difference there, Scotty. Anyway, but that's just something that I consider making the game so easy because Rondo can't score inside of an arena when you got depth perception. Like, there's a whole lot of things that make the NBA hard. The bubble makes the NBA easy to me. There's no travel. That's the killer itself. So you're sleeping in the same bed every night. You're not walking to the gym. Yeah, but you're never sleeping at home, Scotty. You never go home. You're never in your own bed. You're never in your own routine. You have a completely different routine that you had to change. You're away from your family. I love the guy that has backed out of tough positions in the NBA is the guy slamming the bubble now. Okay? I know Scotty was a great player. I get all of that. But I also know that Scotty was, had his moments where you have to say, well, that's why you're Robin and not Batman. I mean, when you act like a little bitch because they call the play for Kukoc, because it was the right play to call for Kukoc, because he was better suited for the play that they called than Scotty, and you decide not to go in a game, dude, you're the guy that could not handle the bubble. You're probably the guy that would say, oh, I miss my family. Oh, this is taxing. Oh, people don't understand how tough this is. You would be the guy that would be complaining about being in the bubble. Because being in the bubble is not easy either. Nothing is easy. Anyway, he says, you're walking to the gym. You're having to go with a 25 to 50-minute bus ride to an arena. You're not having probably to sit in the arena for 2 hours before the game, talk to the media, deal with all the outside stuff that they're trying to pull you in to make some distractions, and, throw the team in a loop. So it's a different game, but it's very entertaining. I saw that from Scotty, and I'm like, you know what, dude, you're a piece of work. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back on the other side. We've hit the top of the hour. Don't forget, Toyota of Hollywood is a proud sponsor of our program. We'll be there tomorrow morning having some fun at Toyota of Hollywood. Get on down there. Tell them that Big O sent you. Herbie Lopez is great people. Gary Thompson. Lori Rodriguez, the lovely and talented one, is there to help you out. Financing manager DJ is there to take care of everything. Steve Ostrov, of course. He is the man, as always, cracking the whip there at Toyota of Hollywood, 1841 North State Road 7. And listen, let me tell you something. They will give you an extra $1,000 on your trade-in when you mention my name. So if you're looking to buy or lease a vehicle and you're going to take a trade in there, whatever price they give you, then mention my name. Say, yo, Big O says you're going to give me another 1,000 on top of my trade, and you'll get that when you get on down at 1841 North State Road 7. It is Toyota of Hollywood.
America's premium sport compact sedan is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. 2020 ILX, $199 a month, $199 at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
Hey, it's Big O. For all of your family dental needs, please reach out to Moody's Dental. I've known Eric for a while, a big fan of our show. Call him at 305-821-0231. Whether it's you or your kids that need some dental help, whether it's implants, Invisaligns, they are the experts. Or if you're just looking to fill a cavity or clean your teeth, or maybe even get a crown, you are going to love the professionalism, the family-like atmosphere. And of course, when you talk about being clean, that's what it's all about in today's society. You are going to go to an extremely clean place. Go to moody'sdental.com, go to the website, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Moody's Dental. Tell them that Big O sent you. 305-821-0231, or go to moody'sdental.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com. A travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to peer, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Hey, it's Big O. For all of your CBD, THC, or hookah needs, you got to get on down to VSS West Pines at 12397 Pembroke Road. Yes, they have got legal THC. You've got to check it out. And they've got, of course, when it comes to CBD, flower, tinctures, edibles, for all kinds of reasons, whether it's pain, stress, anxiety, you name it. And don't forget, when you mention my name, you'll get 20% off. Tell the boys out there that I told you to get on down to VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road, and call them 954-613-3367. Legal THC, CBD, all of your hookah needs. You go to VSS West Pines.
We back. We're out here at VSS West Pines. Come on out, man. Say hi. 12397 Pembroke Road. We'll be out here till, I guess, about 3 o'clock. We'll be out here. Will Mansell will join us around 2:30. So we will have a little fun with Will. I'm sure he'll be in the studios tonight to do a little Heat stuff, because I know that it's a little different now with the NBA Finals. I know they have a kind of a different setup, so we'll talk to Will about that, but I'm sure they'll give us plenty of coverage like they always do. I always like watching the national stuff, but I always want to go back and get the local coverage, obviously, from our people, because they're going to give us a lot of the stuff that we want.
Production-wise, first class.
Oh, yeah, everything. Yes, exactly. There's no doubt about it. We're doing the same thing on the Inter Miami side. I have never seen what we're doing at Inter pretty much with almost any team, except maybe the Heat. That's it. But it's same thing. We're doing some stuff TV and digitally that definitely nobody's doing in the league, and probably in almost any other professional league too here in this country. So it's pretty cool. And by the way, we got something else coming up too, which is going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, let's see. Manny says, let's go Marlins. Myron says, let's go Marlins. Joseph says, Lakers getting 17 and trying NBA record and tying NBA record for titles. So Joseph has got the Lakers winning it all. Kelvin says, what's up, Big O? This will be huge coaching test for Miami. Seattle is hurt, and they are coming to Miami. We might be able to sneak this one out. I'm not worried about them. Miami's in the second year of a rebuild, so I don't care what Seattle might be missing. If it's Russell Wilson, then they've got an excuse. Outside of that, if they have an injury, so be it. I don't really care. They're an established team, and I believe Miami has a chance, big time. I'm not, again, I see this a lot different than most people. I broke it down yesterday. I told you some of the issues with Seattle. They cannot defend the pass whatsoever, and Miami can pass the ball. And Miami has players that can make some plays in the secondary. They're not going to have a lot of success running the ball against them, but because you can pass like crazy, because Seattle is terrible against the pass, I think Miami has a shot. And Miami has, if they get Byron Jones back this week, I really think they got a shot at beating Seattle. You're not going to stop Russell Wilson because he's a freaking stud, but I think you're going to be able to slow that Seattle team down big time. So we'll see. He says Jamal might be out too. Again, whoever, I'm not going to worry about any of those. To me, the injuries aren't an excuse, Kelvin, for Seattle or for Miami. Let's go.
In the past, whoever's injured around Russell Wilson, the guy still shows up and does what he does.
Yeah, it's Russell Wilson, man. It's Russell Wilson. You can't underestimate that dude. That dude is just an absolute badass. Is Russell Wilson? Guy is as special as it gets. I don't want to get too much into the into what happened last night in the debate, but something really funny happened in the debate last night, and it happened to Hassan Whiteside, actually. I don't know if some of you saw it out there, but apparently Hassan Whiteside was watching the debate, and somebody took a screenshot of one of his tweets, and I guess he must have taken the tweet down. He's trying to deny it and all that good stuff, but the beauty of Hassan Whiteside is that we know you're stupid. We know you're not a smart guy, okay? That's why you talk to fish. That's why you say stupid things. That's why you leave a semi-automatic rifle in your car unlocked so people can steal it. So we know all of this stuff. So he apparently tweeted out, I can't do this for 4 more years. F America, bro. I'm moving to Hawaii. Wow. But see, Hassan Whiteside is stupid enough, and we all believe he's stupid enough to believe that Hawaii is not part of America. Man, it's not. It is super nice that the Heat were suckers to give that clown $100 million. Okay? I guess at least he's got money, and it'll probably last him a lifetime because this silly ass, all he does is play video games. He's not really a guy that's at strip clubs and has 8 hoes and, 4 cars and 10 houses and, that kind of stuff. He's kind of a little bit more simple in that way because he's really a child. He's like a really big child. Every time I see stupid things from Hassan Whiteside like this, I always think of Lion Len, the program director at the Quam, or the silly ass name it's got now, the Joe. And I remember him telling me, do you have to call Whiteside a moron or an idiot? And I said, yeah, because that's what he is. He's an idiot. Well, we have a relationship with the team, so we like to keep a good relationship with the team. And I'm like, I'm not worried about a relationship. I'm calling it like it is. The Heat know he's an idiot. Anybody that leaves an automatic rifle unlocked in their car and it gets it stolen, you're an idiot. So no, I'm going to keep calling him an idiot. Yeah, I just wish you wouldn't. What can I tell you, bro? That's it. That's what you got to deal with sometimes in radio. Those are the kind of people you got to deal with in radio. Okay? Right there. That's what you got to deal with in radio. Oh, Lordy. 786-322-1105. Man of 1,005 Holt says, breaking news, Whiteside's intelligence in NBA 2K has gone down from 25 to 21. There you go. Super Boom Shack says there were a bunch of celebs that said that they would not move out of that they would move out of the country 4 years ago when Trump won. Did they move? All talk. That's true. Man, I think Russ going to go berserk against our Finns. Hope we see improvements across the board, too. No, I know. You're right. Russ will go crazy because the Finns secondary has been, really bad. Okay. Matthew Walker, I don't think the tweet was as bad, but Shaq saying the moon is closer than the West Coast. Uh-huh. Now, remember, Shaq does stuff that's goofy and fun. Shaq's not dumb, okay? All right, so there's a difference there. Shaq will do stuff that he's doing it to get a rise out of people, to have some fun and all that, and make people laugh. He's a smart dude, okay? He might look big and goofy at times, and when he talks, he mumbles and all that. He's not a dumb guy. By no stretch, Shaq is a dumb guy. He's a smart guy. Now, Whiteside, that's not smart. You know what I mean? So that's where, I would believe that Whiteside would be stupid enough to tweet out that I'm leaving the country, I'm leaving America, and I'm moving to Hawaii. Because he just sees it on an island somewhere by itself, and it must be, okay, they must be their own country. I can see that. I mean, Ryan Tannehill didn't know the divisions and the cities and all that. You remember that? You remember that video with Ryan not knowing what teams were in his division and stuff like that? I mean, it was just, it was like stuff like, are you serious, dude? Like, really? I don't know if you guys remember that his rookie year when that video came out. That was one of those you're like, whoa, yo, dude. You know what I mean? And Ryan is actually a smart guy. But I guess he wasn't very well informed about NFL divisions. I guess he didn't keep up with it back in those days. Whiteside has to be a dinosaur and a flat earther. Oh, a dinosaur denier and a flat earther is what you're saying? Okay. That is true. Shaq is an excellent businessman. No, Shaq's not a dumb dude, bro. Shaq is a goofball and has some fun and will make you laugh and all that, but he knows what the hell he's doing. Huge difference from him and Whiteside. It's that they're both huge men, but I'm not going to put the intelligence factor. I'm not going to put them at the same level. Let's just put it that way. Okay? All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program, that's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program, Myron chimes in with another super chat. He says, since my Niners season is over, who you got to win the NFC? Too many injuries for my Niners. Yeah, you're right, especially the D-line, which is an amazing D-line, and now they lost two of their players, which is going to be crippling for that defense. You're right about that, plus all the other injuries that you guys have. I don't know yet. I gotta kind of think about that now that your Niners are pretty much out of it now at this point. Give me a couple minutes to kind of think about it because, again, injuries affect everything that's going on. But NFC-wise, that's kind of interesting. Let me think about that. Why don't we do this? Do we have the coach? Do we have Brian Flores? Brian Flores addressed the Meteors today as Miami gets ready for a little action against the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday at 1 o'clock. We will have a post-game show for you on that day, as always. Let's hear from the head coach as he addresses the media. Go ahead, Bill, if you're ready, sir.
What's the biggest challenge? We know about the scrambling quarterbacks, but Russell's one of those guys where it's not necessarily about the scramble, but the buying time, extending plays. What's the biggest challenge when you have a quarterback like that who extends plays?
There's a lot of challenges with a quarterback who can extend plays, the coverage, the rush. You got some guys who extend plays and they're looking to scramble. You have some guys who extend plays, they're looking to throw. With Russell Wilson, it can be that with. They've got good receivers, they've got good backs, they've got a good O-line. Those receivers, I would say, in a scramble situation, they know where they want to go. Once they see him scramble, they've kind of lived it for a number of years. There's some rapport that's been built. So I know you want to say it's just Russell, but they kind of all work together in concert, trying to create big plays or create positive plays when he does extend the play. It's not like guys just stand around. They all work together and they do a good job of that. So, we need good rush. We need to try to, limit those opportunities where he does extend plays. But when he does get out, which he will, he's a good player. We've got to do a good job in the back end of trying to plaster receivers when they try to uncover. But it'll definitely be a tough test, Omar.
Adam? I wanted to ask you about Seattle's a vertical passing game. It seems like the bulk of their big plays have come on deep throws to Metcalf. You guys in week 2 had some problems with those deep routes. Why do you feel like you're in a better position now than you were then? And just your thoughts on the challenge of DK Metcalf.
I think to your point, Adam, they've got a lot of vertical threats. Obviously, the quarterback can get them the ball down the field, but you're defending the run game, you're defending the screen game, you're defending the short passing game. But the big plays, they're definitely looking for him. Metcalf's obviously a big play guy. Lockett's obviously a big play guy. So, they've got multiple weapons. We got to do a good job defending the deep part of the field also, but also defending the intermediate part of the field in the run game and the screen game. So it's a big challenge. Obviously, those big plays are the ones you need to limit those. If you don't, then they just lead to scoring drives or scores on the play. So it's something that we've obviously we know and understand that. And, we've got to try to limit as many of those big plays as we can.
Joe Shad.
Good morning, Flo. Once again, the team is doing well in the area of fewest penalties. And I'm wondering if you could kind of dig in on that topic. I was thinking about technique, self-discipline, and understanding rules and trends in the game. If you can kind of bite on that a little bit and explain some of the things that go into the fewest penalties.
Well, I think our coaches do a good job of talking through what a penalty is, how to avoid them. So, Chan, Josh, Danny in the kicking game, I think those guys do a good job of coaching our players from that standpoint, how to play with good fundamentals or try to play with good fundamentals, good technique, good communication and penalty free. We understand that penalties, they can only hurt us. We try to, as a team, try to limit those penalties if they happen. We understand that. It's not like we have none. They happen, but we try to, as best we can, use the techniques or understand what's going to get called, how it's going to get called, and then try to play in a way that we can be competitive. We can give ourselves an opportunity to play well, but not commit penalties. It's we try to stress that, but we stress a lot of things. We tell these guys a lot, offensively, defensively, in the kicking game. Whether it's communication, whether it's tackling, whether it's a fundamental, whether it's and they I think they do a good job of, or we're getting better at taking everything we tell them and trying to apply it in game and in practice and then in the game. So our players work hard at it. Our coaches work hard at it from a penalty standpoint. And again, Joe, hopefully you didn't just jinx us.
One of the things that I'm really impressed with, and it's so, I think this is one of the great signs of why Flo is actually a really good coach. And I know that we've gotten excited in the past about guys like, let's say recently Gase had the first year at 10-6, and then we were all like, wow, okay, this guy's a damn good coach. He won 10-6 with this team. And we thought we had a guy, and then in the second year, we kind of ended up finding out a little bit more about him and, his issues and all of that kind of stuff. And all of a sudden, we kind of found out that this guy could not coach. This guy was not as strong a coach as we thought. But with Flo, where it might be different than Adam Gase is penalties. And the fact that they have gotten this far already at this point. Last year, they were one of the least penalized teams in his first year on a team that was not loaded with veterans. It was loaded with young people. And so for you to actually be in that territory with a team so young, I think it shows that you can coach. It shows you can communicate, and then it shows you have the respect of the players, that they are taking your message in, and they're going out there, and they're doing the responsible thing, and they're not beating themselves. And that's one of the reasons why Miami, if you're competitive, you will have a chance to win almost any game. Do you know why? If you're not committing penalties, and you're not turning over the ball, you actually will be in 90% of your games. Oh, sure, you'll run into a team that if you don't have the firepower that they do, maybe they just flat out beat you in football. That's fine. You can live with that. What you can't live with is that you commit 100 yards in penalties and you take yourself out of field position for field goals. You take yourself out of field position for a touchdown, and you got to settle for a field goal. All these kind of things, turnovers that you kill your drives, all of this kind of stuff. Miami does not beat themselves on average. But I can't say that under Jimmy Johnson. I couldn't say it under Wannstedt. I couldn't say that under Cam. I couldn't say it under Sperano. I couldn't say it under Philbin. I couldn't say it under Gase. Under all these coaches, I constantly saw them continue to make mistakes. As disciplined as Jimmy thought he was, his team made a lot of mistakes. And they were undisciplined at times. And when I look at Flo right now in the first year and 3 games, I've seen more discipline out of a whole bunch of young guys with no experience than I have in most of the years over the last 20, 25, because we all know what happened with Shula. You were always disciplined with Shula. You were always one of the least penalized teams with Shula. That was just automatic that was going to be the case. And it's nice to see that we got a coach that also preaches and wants his players to play with their heads. And I'm not talking about leading with your head. I'm talking about thinking with your head. Go ahead, Bill, please. Thank you.
Safid.
Good morning,
Safid, I'm sorry I didn't cut my hair, man. I know you're going to say something. Let me just
I wasn't going to say nothing, man.
I'm going to beat you to it, man. I'm going to beat you to it.
I wasn't going to say nothing, man. I'm not looking too fresh either. You know what I'm saying? We play as myself. We need a couple days here and there, you know? Flo, I wanted to ask you, man, it's, just because it's Seattle, have you been watching or has the Malcolm Butler play come up anytime within your thoughts? And if the Seahawks get to the 1, are they going to run or are they going to pass it?
Actually, no, that's not. I'm really focused on our team this year and their team this year, which, there's plenty to think about there. Offensively, defensively, in the kicking game, this is a good football team, a very good football team. They're 3-0 for a reason. They play well in all phases. They play for 60 minutes. And that we're going to need a 60-minute, well-played, high execution game to pull out a victory against a very well-coached, very talented team. So, no, that's that stuff. It's in the past. That's where they are. I mean, they can't help us now. And then my energy's on our team right now, and this week and really today. These our walkthroughs, our meetings, our walkthrough, our practice. Trying to bring energy to that, and preparing ourselves to put ourselves in a situation where we can hopefully play well on Sunday. They can do anything on the 1-yard line. I mean, they got a lot of options. Russ can run. He can run it. They can run it, and with someone else, Carson Hyde, they can throw it, to Lockett or Metcalf. I mean, they got a lot of options. So,
all right, Hal.
Brian, I wanted to ask you about the secondary, not just in terms of who's going to be able to play and who's not on Sunday, but just a general idea that you haven't been able to field what I would presume is your ideal secondary for very long this year, and going against that vertical passing game that we've talked about. What's your level of concern right now?
Well, I mean, we're getting guys ready. And we're getting everyone ready. I think I think our guys are in today, and they've been working to prepare against a really good opponent. And they're working together in the group of guys that we have. Corners, safeties, nickels. They're working together, trying to get a good grasp of what they do offensively, who their key players are, how they're getting them the ball. And the guys who are out there, I think they're going to do everything they can to try to play a competitive ball game and limit what these guys do offensively, which they do a lot. And they've got good players. So, It'll be a tough challenge. I think they know and understand that. Specific to who's in, who's not, injuries. We have the guys we have, and I think, it may not be what we had on, week one, but it's that way for every team. Everyone's dealing with something, and I think the guys, we're confident in the guys we're going to play on Sunday, and if we prepare the correct way, we compete, and we'll give ourselves a chance. But we have to play well against a very, very good team.
Steve Wan.
Good morning, Coach. I guess what every coach dreads this year is happening in Nashville now. And the commissioner has asked teams to look at what they're doing to limit contact, especially when traveling and with position groups and tryouts. I'm wondering just what your reaction is to the news out of from the Titans, and if you foresee any changes in your procedures with the Dolphins.
It's a reminder that we can't lay our guard down. We can't get complacent. I'm not saying that. Look, I know Mike well. I'm sure he wasn't. That they're not. But look, we know how quickly the virus can spread. I think everyone knows and understands that. So we got to be, vigilant and enforcing the masks and the protocols, and we just have to be diligent in following the protocols. So that's the reminder that we talked about this morning as a team. But when you have 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks where things are going good, human nature takes over, and you let your guard down a little bit, and we can't do that. So I think it's just a reminder, and that we've got to continue to be diligent. So I'll do a better job of that. I think every coach around the league is probably having the exact same conversation, and I think that's probably the case, in all 31 other meetings this morning. And it's unfortunate, but we've got to. You don't want to see that for any team, because I know how hard the guys work and how much they put into this. So you don't want to see that for any team. But that's the situation. We all have to learn from it.
All right, we have time for one more. We'll go to Omar.
I wanted to ask you, Flo, actually, this is a two-part question. The first carries over to a question about penalties. Want to know, do you study officials, number one, to kind of come up with what they call and things of that nature? And the second part is about, you always have this, if guys practice well, they play, they get a role. What during the week are you looking for? Is it just on-field stuff, or is it classroom stuff? What exactly is it that gives that magic recipe for a guy to be elevated and get reps, like a Sealer? Siler.
All right, so to answer your first question, yes, we study officials. I study everything. I try to, at least, whether it's officials, whether it's situations, whether it's, anything that, I think will help, us win a ball game. I think our coaching staff and we try to study, in any way we can get advantage. We try to take advantage of it. So yes, we study officials. I think every team does that. To your second question, I think there's a combination of performance on the field in practice, whether it's individuals to any kind of group work, 7-on-7 or 9-on-7, to the team periods. So the performance in those areas of practice, if we feel like they're performing well and they have a good understanding of what we're trying to do, this particular week, and I think that may lend, give you a little bit more insight, Omar. Every week's a little bit different as far as who we may be trying to tackle, what we're trying to do, game plan wise, and that's offensively, defensively, or in the kicking game. Some matchups are better than others. I think I can't say there's one specific thing that will elevate someone. But if we like a matchup or we feel like someone can handle a position that's going to entail them doing 2, 3, 4, 5 different things versus one thing, that could elevate someone in a particular game plan. So I don't know if that totally answers your question, Omar, but I think it's a little bit more. There's a little bit more to it than 1 or 2 things that elevate a guy. There's matchup, there's game plan, there's a few different factors that go into that. So, but yes, if you perform well in practice, we feel confident that you're going to execute the game plan, and very likely that you'll end up in the game.
There you go. That's the head coach, Brian Flores, getting ready for a hell of a challenge on Sunday. But I want you guys as Dolphin fans to stop having the feelings of the past, that you have this defeated attitude at times, and I've gotten it from some people. Some of you out there, you're like, hey, you know what? Our team can be competitive. Our team can fight, and that's what I want you to think, because that's what you got in that locker room as a leader. Brian Flores is a fighter, and Brian Flores isn't going to be faded, isn't going to be sidestepped, or isn't going to be derailed by any kind of adversity. That dude just marches on. And he did that last year when they were 0-1 and 0-3 and 0-5 and 0-7. And then he turned it around finally, and they started to win. This year, they were competitive from the get-go. They won in their 3rd game now. And don't you think that they can't win on Sunday? They're going to be as prepared as possible. Seattle does not come in as a perfect football team. They have their issues too. They have some injuries. They have inconsistencies on defense. They're not good against the pass. They're great against the run. So Miami is going to have opportunities. And the good thing is, Miami has plenty of people that can catch the ball, guys that can catch the ball out of the backfield. So they're going to have opportunities. And you heard them there talk about how, they're preparing for every aspect of Russell Wilson. And you've got to prepare for his legs, like you've got to try to prepare for his arms, and you got to stop Metcalf, and you got to stop Lockett and company, because these guys are big-time playmakers. I get all of that. But this is a guy that, it reminds me a lot of Spo in a way, that with Spo and his coaching, if the players take to the coaching, and you have decent talent, obviously if you don't have any talent, then it's going to be tough. But Miami has talent this year. Their offensive line is already better. Their defense is already better. The team is already better than they were last year. Everything is actually trending on the upswing. So I want you guys to stop having this defeatist attitude where you just don't think that Miami has a chance anymore. And I get it, for the last 20 years, that's how you should have thought. But I think last year showed you that you can actually go better off. You're actually better off relaxing that kind of thinking and actually exciting yourself about the fact that your team actually will have a shot on Sunday. I am not going to sit there at 4 o'clock when I'm doing the postgame show with you guys, and I'm going to sit there and you're going to hear me go, wow, I'm shocked that Miami won. I'm not. I'm going to tell you why they won. I'll be super happy that they won, but I'm not going to sit here and go, wow, I never thought that they could win. That's bullcrap, man. They got a shot. And I think I looked it up for you guys. When they were talking about the penalties, Miami is like 4th or 5th in the league in penalties. It's like a joke. New England's number 1, by the way, in least penalized. And Miami is just a few yards behind them. But they're one of the better teams in the league, one of the smarter teams in the league. If you go into every game where you're not committing a lot of penalties, okay, where you're actually not turning over the football, you're already giving yourself a chance to win practically every game you'll ever play in the NFL. 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program, that's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in, you can reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. The humidity will be our 12th man against against Seattle. That's a pretty good one. They don't feel that kind of humidity out there. That's for damn sure. If we double lock it, then we leave Metcalf alone, and he'll destroy us. I guess Matthew Walker says we should double. Seattle is a suspect, to say the least. That will be our chance, I believe. Let's see. What else do we have here? I got Seattle to win against Patrick. All right. Henrik says, Big O, I met Whiteside at a fish fry in the Turks and Caicos. Nobody noticed that he was an NBA player, but when I approached him in my Miami Heat hat, he wanted to act like a fool. LOL. I told him, nobody knows you. Well, not surprised that he was acting like a fool. Let me ask you, if I told you, Bill, that 24 experts on ESPN were asked who's going to win the NBA title, out of 24 experts, how many do you think actually picked the Heat?
Unless they're Heat fans, I would say 0.
All right, here we go. So the ESPN reporters were asked who's going to win. Yummisuk, I think it is. He used to be on the Giants beat, but now he covers, I believe he covers the Lakers now. He says Lakers in 7, Finals MVP, Anthony Davis. Royce Young, I believe he covers the Thunder for ESPN. Lakers in 6, Finals MVP, Anthony Davis. Eric Woodyard, Lakers in 6, Finals MVP, LeBron James. Jesse Washington. Davis plays for us at right tackle. Jesse Washington, Lakers in 7, Finals MVP, LeBron James. Mark Spears, my boy, Lakers in 7, Finals MVP, Anthony Davis. Andre Snellings, Lakers in 7, Finals MVP, LeBron James. Ramona Shelburne, Lakers in 6, Finals MVP, LeBron James. George Sedano, Lakers in 7, Finals MVP, LeBron James. Omar Raja, Lakers in 6, Finals MVP, LeBron James. Kevin Pelton, Lakers in 7, Finals MVP, LeBron James. Dave McMenamin, Lakers in 6, Finals MVP, LeBron James. Bobby Marks, former front office executive in the NBA, Heat in 7, Finals MVP, Bam Adebayo. Tim McMahon, Lakers in 7, Finals MVP, LeBron James. Andrew Lopez, Lakers in 6, Finals MVP, LeBron James. Tim Legler, Heat in 7, Finals MVP, Jimmy Butler. Baxter Holmes, Lakers in 5, Final MVP, LeBron James. Chris Herring, Heat in 6, Finals MVP, Bam Adebayo. Andrew Hahn, Lakers in 6, Finals MVP, LeBron James. Israel Gutierrez, Heat in 6, Finals MVP, Bam Adebayo. Kirk Goldsberry, Lakers in 7, LeBron James as the MVP. Nick Friedel, Heat in 6, Finals MVP, Jimmy Butler. Nick is the ESPN beat guy for the Bulls. And so he's had a relationship with Butler from the get-go and kind of been following this whole story. When I saw Nick Friedel, I knew he would pick Jimmy Butler as the MVP. But anyway, he's got the Heat in 6 and Jimmy Butler the MVP. Nick DePaula, Heat in 6, Finals MVP, Bam Adebayo. Tim Bontemps, Heat in 7, Finals MVP, Bam Adebayo. And Jerry Bembry, Heat in 6, Finals MVP, Tyler Hero. So out of 24, 16 went to the Lakers, 8 went to the Heat. Finals MVPs, LeBron James was selected 13 out of the 24. Bam got 5. Anthony Davis got 3. Jimmy Butler got 2. And Tyler Hero got 1. That's your 24 right there. So 33% of the folks that were polled here for ESPN chose the Miami Heat to win the NBA title, and the other 66 went with the Lakers.
I'm a little surprised it's that high.
So was I. When I saw that article, I was like...
I forget about Legler. I forget about Gutierrez, local.
But Sedano's local.
I know. Well, he used to be. He used to be.
Right. He does
He's
LA.
not in,
he lives in LA and he does LA radio, so maybe that's why he picked LA.
He's a transplant.
So he wants to. He doesn't want the Heat over there
he doesn't want to get in trouble in his own neighborhood.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's probably what it is. I figured, a person like Ramona Shelburne is going to pick Los Angeles.
I'm surprised she didn't pick him in a sweep. Okay, how close she is to the Lakers.
I would have stirred it up. I would have picked the Heat even if I'm working in LA. I would have picked the Heat anyway. I would have picked the Heat at 6, and I would have had everybody pissed at me on the West Coast. But I would have said, "Yo, got to roll with what I got to roll with, man," and I'm rolling with my Heat. Heat in 6 is what's going to happen. So I think a lot of you out there are also surprised that out of the 24, that 8 of them had the guts to actually pick the Heat. That's pretty interesting. Yeah. Oh, Kobe? I don't know. I don't know how much of that is really a factor. I don't know, man. I think they're winning for themselves right now. I think LeBron is thinking more about beating Pat Riley's ass than Kobe. Yeah, I think it's more important for him to beat Pat Riley than to win it for Kobe. I really do. I think the Kobe thing is like an icing on the cake and all that. I think a lot of their free agents, I think if they want to win it, they want to win it for them.
I think there would be more involvement if there were games in L.A.
Yeah.
With the fans.
Yes.
Then I could see where
That's a good point.
that Kobe thing would help. But I think LeBron,
Orlando.
I think LeBron's suffering another finals loss.
Yeah.
And the comparison
Way more
of
motivation.
Michael Jordan, that's probably his number one.
Yeah. That's more on his mind than anything else. I think the Kobe thing is not. I just don't see it as important. So to me, I think it's more about just how personal this thing is for all those guys. Because I know Riley. If Riley had an opportunity to go pick up an old lady in Hialeah to do a brujeria, he probably did that too, because he'll do anything to win this series. Okay, he'll pick up a Cuban old lady from Hialeah, and she'll come with her, her gallo, and she'll do her spell and put it on LeBron and the Lakers.
The biggest advantage I see us having tonight is like we had talked about. You give Spoelstra 3 days to prepare. I like our odds.
So think about this. I'm thinking about I'm thinking about Steven Seagal, and I'm thinking about that scene where you got the girl that is trying to put the bad guy out, and she's got the chicken, ven pa' acá, gallito, and she does the sacrifice of the chicken and all that, and then Two-Face wakes up, and he senses that he's got a witch putting a spell on him. So then Two-Face goes and finds that woman, right? And I'm thinking about the way LeBron left Miami. He's kind of Two-Face. So it's time for Jimmy Butler, who is Steven Seagal, to go kick his ass and the Lakers' ass. That's what's going to happen. Okay? So we've got, it's a Steven Seagal movie that we're in the middle of.
The all-time matchup between the two it's even, right? It's 17-17 between LeBron and Butler.
I have no idea.
I want to say that's what I heard. It's all even between the two of them right now.
Yep. Ray says Tim Legler has loved the Heat since the first round. Yeah, he has. He's been on the Heat bandwagon from the get-go. Ray says, Orlando, I saw Riley con Chango, Santa Barbara, and La Botanica in Hialeah. Ian from Brooklyn's threw in a little screw face. You picked up on that, huh? Watching my Braves game on mute and listening to you, Big O. Don't miss a show. You the best. Thank you, Herman. That's really nice of you, man. You know.
Hey, Herman's being like you because I see one of the tablets has.
We got the Braves game on too, bro. See? There you go.
In 9 minutes, we're about to switch, though.
Yeah,
got to move up to Chicago.
Yeah, got to put on Los Marlins. I got to watch Los Marlins, okay? Oye, chico, voy a ver Los Marlins. I need my guayabera. I need my cigar.
We got a shot, man. They've been talking about the fact that the Cubs' bats are not what they've been in the past. They're having a hard time producing runs.
It's a 3-game set, bro.
Yeah, man. Anybody. Totally.
That to me, I don't care if they have their bats going. In baseball, it's a funny-ass game.
Yeah, man.
And tonight, or today,
It's
the
a
pitcher
round
comes
ball
in.
you buy in a square box.
Pitcher comes in. They don't know any of these pitchers. They haven't faced us. So they don't know us at all. So they have no track record on these guys. So it's all of a sudden now. This is something that they've got to adjust to. Miami has every shot out there to win this series against the Cubs. It's based. If it was a 7-game set, then I would tell you, look, man, it's great that they made the playoffs. They got the experience. It's great. It's a 3-game set. They can beat anybody, bro. I don't care how hot the team is. I don't care how good they are. Miami would have a shot because they have 3 young arms that if those arms come in and they're pitching well, they got a shot. So to me, I'm not really worried about it. I think actually it's going to be a lot of fun to watch the Marlins because the Cubs, remember, the Marlins have no pressure. None. They're not supposed to be here. They have no business winning. They have no business advancing. For the Cubs, they're the ones with the high payroll. They're the ones with the expectations that they have not met, by the way, because when Theo put that team together and won that first title, we thought there might have been another title or 2 coming. Has it happened?
Yeah, based on that lineup and everything they had.
Has it happened?
No, they have been huge underachievers.
Right, so they've been underachievers.
I mean, hell, they're one of the best managers. Dipped and went to the West Coast.
Yeah.
Madden.
So that means that all the pressure's on the Cubs. There is no pressure and expectations on the Marlins. Those kids can go in there and play loosey-goosey and let it all hang out because they're not supposed to be there and they're not supposed to advance. For the Cubs, they have no business losing to the Marlins. And if they do, it becomes catastrophic for them. Okay? If the Marlins take them to 3 games in this series, it's catastrophic for them. That's the way it's viewed. That's the beauty of the Marlins right now.
You know who's thinking high on the Marlins?
They got nothing to lose.
Did you see what A-Rod said?
What?
He's talking exactly what you said. They're young. They got some talent. They got nothing to lose.
Nothing.
Watch out for them.
Yeah, of course you got to watch out for them because they could just go out there and just go have fun, man.
You know what? In
a couple years, they'll build up expectations, and then they'll live with pressure. But right now, they got no pressure, dude.
I got to say, with everything they went through, and we know about the, 17 rookie pitchers that have been involved with the team and the 58 players that have, been in the lineup and all. Man, the Marlins have been through a lot this year, and to still make the playoffs as young as they are, man, the team's got some thick skin. Got to give them some props.
Yep. Orlando, I am smoking a double Corona on my balcony. You are a stud, Super Boom Shack. Julius 305 says Tony Montana style. That's it. That's it. The world is mine. Is the blimp flying over you right now, Super Boom Shack? Let's see.
It's the world is yours.
Oh, the world is yours. There you go. The world is yours. Time to call Pedro Serrano from Major League to summon Jobu. That's it. I like it. I like it.
Don't drink his rum.
That's right.
Don't drink his rum.
That's right. Don't touch Jobu's rum. You'll end up.
They're delivering a bucket of chicken to the Marlins.
Hey, a little KFC. Ray Grulong chimes in on a little super chat. He says, appreciate your positivity always. We all love it. Go Heat, go Finns, go Marlins, go Inter Miami. Yeah. And Panthers and Canes. And the FAU Owls and the Golden Panthers. I got to cheer for all my teams locally. Miami FC also in football. Himmershey in football. Miami Beach FC. I got to root for all my local soccer teams, too, on top of all of that. I'm with you, Ray. Complete hometown here, baby. That's what it's all about. Heat, by the way, you know that the money's been coming in on the Heat. Yeah, they are now only a 4.5-point underdog. It's been 5. It went down to 4.5. That means the money's coming in on Miami now. The over and under is 217.5. We are 38-26-2 against the spread in the NBA playoffs. We are 12 games above 500. I already got 5 points. But I'm gonna since it's 4.5, I'm gonna play the game with you guys, and I'm gonna take the 4.5. I believe the Heat either win this game or they lose a really tight game overall. So I'm gonna take the points and go with the Heat. The over and under of 217.5. Let me watch how this game goes so I could try to get a better feel for the over and under. On this one, but I'm going to stay away from it this time because I'm not exactly sure what kind of game we're going to get. I want to see how these coaches are going to coach this game and how the players start in this first game because this could be a track meet. If the Lakers allow it, they want to run up and down and they'll go over 217.5. If Miami is somehow can make them more of a half-court offense. The Lakers are not a good shooting team. Miami is a great shooting team. Then I think you can leave it. It could go under the 217.5. So that's where I got to see how the game is going to develop before I make any commitments to the over and under. But for the heck of it, okay, I already got +5, but that's fine. The line is 4.5. I'll take the Heat plus 4.5 here. That is my story. And I'm sticking to it, okay?
I think that's the key to the victory, right?
What?
Don't let them get out and run.
No.
If you put them in half court off, there's, I believe, like 75, 80, 85% chance we win this game by forcing them to a half court game.
Yes. Yeah, well, because Miami will be able to outshoot them. You know that? There's no doubt about that. Let's see. I love it. It will be a fantastic series. Go Lakers. That's what Myron is saying. All right, Myron. Now, Myron, don't get mad when your Lakers lose, okay? When our Heat win, I know you're going to be happy because they're both teams are your teams, and I get it. You're a little bit like Bill, who has like 8 teams in every league.
Hey, stop with that nonsense, man.
I'm sorry. Bill has 8 teams in every conference. That's what it is.
You're such an ass.
Okay,
you really are.
It all depends on the mood. It all depends on who made the playoffs.
I'm all local except for 2 that I've had from birth and from childhood, 5 years old.
Bill and Tua are a lot alike.
That's so full of crap.
You know, Bill and Tua are a lot alike. When Tua was selected by the Miami Dolphins in the draft, he reached down to the table. He had all 32 hats. So it didn't matter where he got traded or whatever. He would have had a Rams hat. He would have had a Carolina hat. That's Bill.
Do you see the big log of OBJ coming out of his mouth right now?
It all depends.
There's a big log of OBJ coming out of his mouth.
Bill has like 800 hats at home, right? Because he's got 8 teams in each conference. So it all depends on who makes the playoffs. He shows up at the bar. Oh, yeah, no, the Reds are in the finals. Oh, yeah, I'm a Reds fan.
Stop with
the Yankees
nonsense.
are in the finals. I've got the Yankees hat.
Don't even.
The Marlins are in the finals. Oh, I've got a Marlins hat.
I have I have 2 extra teams, and it's from birth and from 5 years old. The Bears and the Yankees. Everything else is Miami. This guy, You're amazing to me, bro.
I tell you, bro, it's amazing. The Pirates make it. He'll show up with a
never.
Oh, yeah, no, I've been cheering for him since We Are Family. You know, he'll tell you, I was singing We Are Family. That's Bill right there.
We were probably skating to it because that was 79.
Blue Jays win the World Series.
Oh, no.
He was up there rioting with them back in those days. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just the way Bill is. That's the way he rolls. He can't lose. In fact, in his room, he has more banners hanging from his roof than they do with the Celtics, the Lakers, and the Yankees combined. Okay? Oh, I'm sorry. Throw in the Montreal Canadiens. Okay,
so
all four
full
of
of
them.
it.
And no. Let's go also with Manchester U also. Let's throw them in there.
No.
Okay, all those teams combined in titles.
Chelsea, bro.
That's a fraction of Bill's titles at his house.
Chelsea in the
He'll
Premiership.
sit back and tell you, hey, man, this Cubs title, boy, we were waiting 100 years. And then an hour later, you know, this Red Sox title, I've been waiting 100 years for it. You know, I got 27
Red
titles
Sox,
of the
what do you-
Yankees.
Dude, that's blasphemous here. Don't ever, never, ever, nothing, Boston.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ever.
That's right. It's White Sox. It's not Red Sox. That's right. It's the white. See, and they're hot, and they're in the playoffs. You'll see he'll show up with a White Sox hat soon enough. He'll tell you, oh, no, Frank Thomas, bro. That was my guy. I hated that he didn't win a title. You know, that's it. The man can't lose. Myron chiming in with his third super chat of the day. Myron says, I won't know. Reason is Pat Riley used to be a Laker. Oh, I am not a fake fan. Okay. All right, so you're not Bill is what you're saying. Okay. You don't have 80 teams.
Dude, would you stop with this already, man?
Kenneth
God.
Cleveland chiming in with a super chat. He says, good afternoon, Big O. Kenneth Cleveland is live from the Boom Boom Room. I have a Joe Boo here with his rum and Cohiba. I like it. I like it. There we go.
Just make sure you don't drink his rum. It will mess with you.
Super Boom says, OBJ always takes the number 2 at every restaurant. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. All right, let's do this. It's the top of the hour. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. Will Manso from Local 10 will join us at 2:30. We'll talk a little Heat basketball with him. I got some music news. I got a couple of other things that I want to talk about, too, on the show here that we got to get to.
You just touched the 1 hour mark.
Oh, I didn't break at the bottom of the hour?
Well, no, of course not. You're just running amok.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Or are you going to blame it on Flores in the interview?
No,
Because we didn't come out of that until the 38-minute mark.
That's
so
probably what it is.
It's Flores' fault.
Yeah. That's probably what it is. I got to blame it on Flores. And by the way, what a cool you could see how he screws around with the beat guys and stuff. He's a cool dude, man. It looks like he's turning out to be a guy that he's not going to give you a ton, but at least he'll be a little personable with you. You know what I mean?
He has a pulse as opposed to Belichick.
Yeah. No, there's some human being there with Flo, whereas with like a guy like Belichick, there is no human there. That's just a
you
machine.
grab his wrist, he's got no pulse.
That's just a machine. That's all it is. All right, let's take a break. Hour number 3 is next.
America's premium sport compact sedan is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. 2020 ILX, $199 a month, $199. And Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
Hey, it's Big O. For all of your family dental needs, please reach out to Moody's Dental. I've known Eric for a while, a big fan of our show. Call him at 305-821-0231. Whether it's you or your kids that need some dental dental help, whether it's implants, Invisaligns, they are the experts. Or if you're just looking to fill a cavity or clean your teeth, or maybe even get a crown, you are going to love the professionalism, the family-like atmosphere. And of course, when you talk about being clean, that's what it's all about in today's society. You are going to go to an extremely clean place. Go to moodiusdental.com, go to the website, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Moodius Dental. Tell them that Big O sent you, 305-821-0231, or go to moodiusdental.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com. A travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to peer, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Hey, it's Big O. For all of your CBD, THC, or hookah needs, you got to get on down to VSS West Pines at 12397 Pembroke Road. Yes, they have got legal THC. You've got to check it out. And they've got, of course, when it comes to CBD, flower, tinctures, edibles, for all kinds of reasons, whether it's pain, stress, anxiety, you name it. And don't forget, when you mention my name, you'll get 20% off. Tell the boys out there that I told you to get on down to VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road, and call them 954-613-3367. Legal THC, CBD, all of your hookah needs. You go to VSS West Pines. Welcome back. Coming to you live from VSS West Pines. Come on out here, man. 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on out and see the boys. Jason's out here waiting for you. All the boys are out here. Jose's out here waiting for you. Come on. Tommy, Alex, everybody's out here. So come on out. Call them 954-613-3367. They will take care of you for all of your hookah needs, for all of your CBD needs. So if you've got some pain, some stress, some anxiety you want to release, or maybe your dogs or cats, they're a little too hyper, we got CBD products for them. We got legal THC also, so you can enjoy a little bit of that too. We got the hookah pipes, which they've got an enormous, the selection grows and grows and grows. Why? Because less people are going to hookah bars because there's something called Corona, right? And that's kind of put a cramp into all of that. Now, people are realizing, okay, that they actually spend a lot less money if they have their own hookah pipe and their own stuff at home. So tonight, while you're watching the heat, hookah during the heat. While you're watching, we got all the CBD products. We got THC. We got all kinds of stuff for you to relax while you're watching the heat.
Okay? We got all kinds of stuff out here, so please come on out so you can relax, enjoy the game, be in a groove. You know what I'm saying? And tell them I sent you. All right? They will take care of you, I promise you. And when you're feeling nice and mellow tonight, you can say, hey, I went to VSS West Pines. Now I feel good. See, that's what this place is all about. You walk in, you feel good because you've got great people. They're incredibly polite. They're well educated on all the products here, so they can inform you. So if you're dealing with pain, or you just want to chill, or maybe you've been stressed out all day. I mean, if you're following like 8 teams like Bill, that gets stressful. You need a little CBD to kind of relax. You know what I'm saying? It's stressful to follow 8 teams. I mean, there's like 8 games going on. Bill has like 7 teams involved in all of this. It's amazing. He's switching hats like every hour. That's stressful. So if you got to do that like Bill, then come on down here. I think that's why Bill loves to do this one show every week, because it kind of relieves the stress of having 8 teams. I mean, he just won the Stanley Cup with the Lightning. It's amazing. He was celebrating with his Lightning shirt and hat and all that. And it's like, dude, what about the Panthers? He goes, no, the Panthers are out right now. The Lightning are in. I'm in.
You bastard.
Tell you. It's amazing. The guy never loses. He just hung up another banner today. A Lightning banner. So it's awesome. You got to love it. Hank Goldberg's left nut said, I went to VSS a couple of weeks ago. Nice shop. Thank you, sir. Of course. Super Boom says, Adam Gase shops at VSS when he needs a bug eye session. There we go. Well, we've got a couple of bugs here, actually. They're embalmed. You can check it out. You know what? If VSS West Pines is able to embalm Adam Gase's eyes, I don't know, could we sell that? Or we just use it as, maybe scare the shit out of people. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I don't exactly know what we do with that. These are Adam Gase's eyes. Oh, that's scary.
You know what's cool about being here, man? Every week, looking around the shop, I see something new.
Oh, always.
I never noticed that rail car up there. Dude, look how cool that is.
Oh, yeah.
Let me get that.
Yeah. But that's not like a pipe or anything, right? What is that rail car? I don't know. Should you really lift that? I don't think you should touch that. I don't think you should touch any of that stuff. Okay, so there you go. Show him the whole case. I mean, you're going to show, that case is amazing. Just all the stuff that's in that case. It's awesome. Look at that. That's what I tell you about the embalming and all that stuff. They got the different items. Show them the R2-D2 pipes back there, over there. There you go. You see, folks? There you go. You got all kinds of stuff here at VSS West Pines. It's not just all the CBD products that you can enjoy, hookah, e-juice, all that kind of stuff. There we go. See? Great place, man. I'm telling you. You are going to love this place. 12397 Pembroke Road. Tell them that I sent you. I promise you that they will take care of you. Exceptional place here at VSS West Pines. Very, very good people out there. Anyway, if you want to get in, 786-322-1105. You can reach out to us on Twitter at Big O Show. Always like to give you a little music news, a little music history, as always. On this date, let's start off. In 1935, on this date, Johnny Mathis was born on this date in 1935. Mathis, U.S. singer, and in 1978 had a U.S. #1 single with Too Much, Too Little, Too Late, and over 15 other top 40 singles. His greatest hits album spent over 9 years on the U.S. album charts. You know how nice it is that you're cruising around and your album's on the charts for 9 freaking years? Back when they actually used to buy albums, by the way. Back in 1943 on this date, I will admit, I had a crush on this woman every time she came on television. Marilyn McCoo was born on this date in 1943 from The Fifth Dimension. She also, in 1977, had the U.S. #1 single with You Don't Have to Be a Star, Baby, to be in my show. 1947, Mark Bolan, born Mark Feld, guitarist, singer, songwriter, and, of course, the singer of the rock band T-Rex. Bolan was one of the pioneers of glam rock movement back in the 70s and just inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He was killed in a car accident on the 16th of September in 1977 at the age of 29. Wow. Night before his 30th birthday, by the way. 1952, on this date, John Lombardo was born from the 10,000 Maniacs, the guitarist and musician. Part of the albums that charted In My Tribe, Blind Man Zoo, Our Time in Eden, and, of course, the MTV Unplugged album for 10,000 Maniacs, which is an excellent album. Sounded great. And Because the Night, the remake of the Patti Smythe song that written by Bruce Springsteen, that is probably one of the best remakes ever in music history. Trey Anastasio was born on this date back in 1964. Singer, guitarist from Phish, also known for musical improvisations, extended jams, and blending of genres. Happy birthday to Trey Anastasio. And, of course, all of you out there that are Phish fans, you are obviously big Trey fans. Leonard Skinner on this date in 1974. Listen to this one. The police were called to a Leonard Skinner Blue Oyster Cult concert after a fight broke out between the two sound engineers. The Skinner roadie claimed that the sound had been deliberately turned off during the band's set. Crazy stuff. All right, Kate Pearson, born on this date back in 1993. Kate Pearson from the B-52s. She was charged with criminal mischief and trespassing during an anti-fur protest at Vogue's in New York City's office. In 2006, the man that brought sexy back, Justin Timberlake, started a 2-week run at #1 on the U.S. album charts with his second solo album, Future Sex Love Sounds, which also became the biggest album ever for a pre-order on iTunes. In 2007, listen to this one, country singer Keith Urban crashed his motorcycle on the way to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. The 39-year-old was not injured, but he said he was being followed by a photographer when the accident happened near his home in Sydney, Australia. That damn paparazzi. In 2016, this is the best, okay? Check this one out, Bill. A schoolboy from Philadelphia who skipped class to meet his musical hero handed his teacher an absence note with a difference. The typewritten note was signed by Bruce Springsteen. The fifth grader, Michael Fenity, met the star in a meet and greet in the Free Library of Philadelphia where Springsteen was in town signing copies of his new autobiography, Born to Run. Now, do you think the kid ended up getting in trouble after the kid hands the teacher a note signed by Bruce Springsteen while you were absent? I mean, that's got to be better than your parents, right? Because I know this. If I'm the teacher, one, I'm keeping the note. I'm not giving it back. All right, so what do you want? You want an F or you want this note back? That's what I would say. You know, I'd put the kid in an impossible position. Because I want the Bruce Springsteen signature. I'm the teacher. You went out of your way. You went to meet Bruce. You got what you wanted. You got your book signed, all that. Now you give me my note, right? And then that's a great story I can tell that I had a kid who actually met Bruce, and then Bruce wrote him a note the next day on why he was absent from class. I love that. That's a great story right there. Let's give you a couple of other things in music history on this date. First of all, in 1997, the Rolling Stones released their 23rd American studio album, Bridges to Babylon. And in 2013, Fitz and the Tantrum made history on this date when their song Out of My League went to number 1 on the alternative song charts. It took the record 33 weeks on the charts for the tune to reach the summit. That's interesting, because usually you skyrocket to the top and then you like cruise down. And for several weeks or months or whatever, if the song is really good, you'll stay on the charts, but it'll go down slowly. You know what I mean? But usually it's a quick rise. In this case, it took 33 weeks to get to number 1. That's a freaking long time. Okay. We've been keeping you updated with everything that goes on with AC/DC. Well, after all this stuff and everybody, kind of playing the detective, vocalist Brian Johnson, bassist Cliff Williams, drummer Phil Rudd are officially now back with AC/DC as the first official photo of the reunited band has popped up. The photo confirmed the long-standing rumors which circulated in 2018 about the trio's return to the fold. The band's frontman since 1980, Johnson, exited the band in 2016 after experiencing loss of hearing, while Rudd was replaced by a returning Chris Slade on the Rocker Bus Tour after he was found guilty of drug possession and making threats to kill in 2015. Bassist Williams officially retired from the band in 2017. After a long period of silence, standard practice in the DC world, there has been a flurry of activity from the band's camp in the past week. Readers of local newspapers in Teesside, Newcastle, Glasgow, Manchester, and Birmingham were greeted with unexpected AC/DC advertisements as they browsed yesterday's edition. The half-page ads featured the question, "Are you ready?" above the same mysterious power-up logo that appeared earlier this week on a poster outside Angus Young's old high school, Ashfield Boys in southwest Sydney. So a short video of the band's iconic lightning bolt and being switched on. The Australian rock giants have perhaps given a huge hint as to the title of their follow-up 2014 Rock or Bust album. So they are back. It's official. They made it public now, and that's good. I was thinking about this, man, okay? If you're an AC/DC fan and you want to see this tour, and you want to see this tour, okay? I might do what I did with Van Halen. I might go on the road to go see where AC/DC starts, because
we have to. This is probably it, right?
Yeah, but I can't wait till they come to Miami, because it may never get to Miami.
Why do you say that?
Well, this guy lost his hearing already once.
Ah, yes.
So I don't know how, he doesn't even know how he's going to react every night touring.
So don't run the risk.
So don't run the risk. You know, the whole...
had the same idea when Guns N' Roses announced their tour.
And Van Halen.
The potential of the fighting and stuff.
And Van Halen.
That's,
I went to Jersey. They opened up in Jersey. I did.
Why didn't they open up? They always open up down here because of David's grandparents or something.
I know, but they opened up in New York. And
Wow.
I went up and saw them where the Nets used to play, the old arena where the Nets were at, which is right next to Giant Stadium. And I went there to go see them. This was years ago. Flew in for the night, saw the concert, flew right back out in the morning. And I think I'm going to do that for AC/DC, because
it's a smart move for us to run the risk of missing that, man. Oh,
yeah, because
you'll be kicking yourself in the ass forever.
Yeah, I don't know when the date will come to South Florida. If the date will come to South Florida, I don't know if they'll stay together throughout the whole tour. I don't know if Brian Johnson will have, hearing issues again, and this causes problems. So wherever they start their tour, I'm going to try to go to one of the first dates on the tour.
Jumping in the beginning, man, it's an insurance policy that you get to see it.
Yeah.
And considering how long it's been since they toured one, how long they've been talking about this.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for this for over 2 years.
Yep. Did you go to the Stones concert in Miami a couple years ago, Joe Robbie? I did, and I wasn't impressed.
Wasn't that the one in the rain?
Yeah, it was in the rain.
You and Greep.
Yeah. Although I was able to sit in under the roof, I had tickets on the floor. But once it started raining, I went back and sat in the seats while the rain was going on. And Keith Richards barely was playing any guitar in that concert. I enjoyed it. It was all right. But I've been to a lot of Stones concerts. That was the worst concert out of all the Stones concerts I've been to. If you've never seen the Stones, it was probably the greatest, treat for you. But for a guy like myself that's been spoiled with several Stones concerts, I can't say that I was impressed. I almost felt like they were really going through the motions almost in that concert. So yeah, I did see it, but I can't tell you, Troy, that I was wowed by that concert.
Come in, pick up your paycheck. Thank you, everybody.
Yep.
See you again.
Yep. Let's see, what else do we have? Big J doing big things, chiming in on the Super Chat. Thank you, Big J. He says, I'm driving down to Miami tonight with the fam for the Dolphins game this weekend. Go Fins. I love it.
Going to the stadium, man. Be safe.
And you might end up seeing a win, my brother. I'm telling you. You might see a win. I am hoping that since the state is losing so much tax revenue due to COVID, that they will have to legalize recreational marijuana, also sports betting probably through the Seminoles. I would tell you Hank Goldberg's left nut. I think both are going to happen a lot faster than they were going to happen in the past because of all the COVID losses. Plus, that's a lot of tax money that they're leaving on the floor there. And if you're Florida, you're already a great destination for vacations. Add sports gambling and add recreational marijuana, and now you become even more of a great place to go hang out, and you'll get more people coming down and spending money here. So, yes, I agree with you. I think because of everything that's gone on, we will see a rise there, and we will see that stuff legalized with a quickness. What else did I want to tell you?
I want to tell you that
I know we're close to – we got to go to Will.
Thank you.
Here really quick. What else did I want to say? Oh, one more thing before I let you go here on the music side. Something super, super freaking cool. Linkin Park is going to release a special edition of Hybrid Theory, okay? There's been a song that's been discussed by the fan base called Picture Board for a long time. It comes from the Hybrid Theory era, and it was never made public, but yet they've played it a couple of times like a piece of it on in live acts. So Mike Shinoda shared some of the background behind the track. He says, fans have known about Picture Board for about 19 to 20 years. They've known the existence of it, but didn't know at all what it sounded like. He revealed that after being asked about it frequently, and at one point he thought of making it an LPU fan club song, but it had a sample that needed to be cleared, which seemed a little unrealistic at the time. So Shinoda marveled at the fans' determination to uncover the track over the years. There's so many songs. Why is there so much focus on this one? You've never heard it, he pondered. But even after clearing the sample, which he revealed was a Barry White drum sample, fans were able to piece together the clip of audio with an interlude from the band that had played at a rock festival in 2000 or in 2001. So, to make everything short here, Hybrid Theory 20th Anniversary Edition, limited edition super deluxe box set includes 5 CDs, the original Hybrid Theory album, the Reanimation remix record, a B-side rarity set of 12 previously unreleased tracks from that era. That's cool, okay? Because their music went down big time after the second album.
As long as that song is in that wheelhouse, that group,
the 12
I have no problem.
12 songs are from that era.
That's awesome.
Unreleased.
Have you ever heard the story about the fact that Linkin Park supposedly had like a whole bunch of songs, and like before they would put out an album, they'd get together and everybody would vote for the 10 or 12 they wanted.
Right.
And then they would banter from there.
Right.
It's kind of a democracy type thing of what got on the album. Supposedly, they have a bunch of material.
Yeah, a lot of bands do that.
And you know what, man? As long as it's Meteora and Hybrid Theory, I would love to hear all that stuff.
It's the stuff from Hybrid Theory
That's
that did not make
awesome.
it.
That's
so,
awesome.
So I'm looking forward to that. I am definitely going to buy that. It will be released October 9th. So for those of you that are big Linkin Park fans, especially the early stuff, which is legendary, check it out. All right, let's switch gears. We're going to talk a little basketball with Will Manso next.
Hey, it's Big O. For all of your family dental needs, please reach out to Moody's Dental. I've known Eric for a while, a big fan of our show. Call him at 305-821-0231. Whether it's you or your kids that need some dental help, whether it's implants, Invisaligns, they are the experts. Or if you're just looking to fill a cavity or clean your teeth, or maybe even get a crown, you are going to love the professionalism, the family-like atmosphere. And of course, when you talk about being clean, that's what it's all about in today's society. You are going to go to an extremely clean place. Go to moody'sdental.com, go to the website, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Moody's Dental. Tell them that Big O sent you, 305-821-0231, or go to moody'sdental.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com. A travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to appear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Hey, it's Big O. For all of your CBD, THC, or hookah needs, you got to get on down to VSS West Pines at 12397 Pembroke Road. Yes, they have got legal THC. You've got to check it out. And they've got, of course, when it comes to CBD, flower, tinctures, edibles, for all kinds of reasons, whether it's pain, stress, anxiety, you name it. And don't forget, when you mention my name, you'll get 20% off. Tell the boys out there that I told you to get on down to VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road, and call them 954-613-3367. Legal THC, CBD, all of your hookah needs. You go to VSS West Pines.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with zero down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
We ready to rock. We promised you my man Will Manso would be kind enough to join us now to talk a little Heat basketball as they get ready to take on the Lakers tonight at 9 o'clock. Will, as always, the sports director at Local 10 and also the Heat host. You can follow him on Twitter like I and so many others do, at Will Manso. Will the Thrill, how you doing, baby?
Man, like everybody else in South Florida, on a high with everything going on
have
after months of nothing. Now we
I
get
don't hear.
pictures of everything.
How are we doing? I don't know. I don't hear anything. Will might be hearing me. He might be saying yo, all of that. But I don't think it has anything. I don't think it has anything to do with the headphones, bro. It's not going out on the air.
Hello, Will, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you may want to call him back again, bro, and fix my headphones because you screwed them up. However it is. There we go. All right, Will, you there?
Yeah,
All
I'm
right,
here.
we're gonna
What's
try to
going
get
on,
him
guys?
again. We'll try to get Will Manso on and see if everything is working. The headphones are fine, bro. I can hear everything. It has nothing to do with the headphones. So we'll try to get him back on again here. We'll get Will on, and we'll talk a little Heat action, baby, as they get ready to take on the Los Angeles Lakers tonight in Orlando in the bubble. We'll see if the boys can get it done, which would be a beautiful thing. We'll try to get him on here, and we'll see if he thinks they're actually going to win. And listen, I got the Heat in 6 in this one. I just think they're the better team right now. It'll be interesting to see what my man Will thinks, since he gets to watch the Heat every single night like we do. All right. So do we have him now? All right, Will, let's try it now, brother. Are you there?
I'm here, man. Can you hear me?
I don't hear anything, bro. I don't hear anything. You guys
Can you hear me all right?
At all? Anybody?
Yeah, I hear you.
Say it on the chat board there, because it's not coming out. I don't think so. I don't know if we're hearing it here. Okay.
Hey, guys, I'm here if you can hear me.
All right, Will, you there?
Can you hear me?
I hear you now on Bill's headset. Okay, they hear you, so that's fine. I don't know, it's weird, but it's not coming through my headset because I hear myself, so it's kind of odd. How you doing, my brother? You doing all right?
I'm hoping you can still hear me.
Oh, yeah, I hear you, bro. I hear you. You hear me? We're good?
Yeah, I hear you clear. Good. So, all right. So we got a lot to figure out. Oh, man, I'm doing well, man. I'm on it like everything, man. Like everyone in South Florida, just on a high with everything going on. I have sports for months. We got the Heat, the finals, the Marlins, the playoffs, the Kings, the top 10. So much good stuff happening now.
I know, man. It is. It's awesome. Obviously, let's talk about the big boys tonight with the Heat and the Lakers. Something that we didn't expect that would end up happening. Actually, that the Lakers would, that the Heat would be here in the finals. And Will, when I start to look at this, you tell me if I'm being a homer. They have the best two players, but I still believe Miami has the best team and the better coaching staff going into this series.
I mean, I couldn't have said it any better, because the reality is this: when people ask me about, oh man, how do you beat LeBron? How do you beat AD? I say, look, you don't really. It's very hard to slow down those guys. They're going to get their numbers, but if you stack this series, the best two players of the series are LeBron and AD, no question. You don't have to be a homer for either side to know that. But to me, 3 through like 7 or 8 on the list are all Miami Heat players. To me, you go Jimmy, you go Bam, you go Bourne, you go Tyler, you go Duncan. I mean, you go down that list. I don't think the Lakers have anybody as good as those guys after AD and LeBron. Now, look, saying after AD and LeBron is a lot. You're talking about 2 of the best 5 players in the league. But I still think as a team, depth in stretches of games, second unit, strategic things with coaches, the Heat have an advantage to be able to stay close, and they've learned how to finish in these playoffs and close games. And I think they will absolutely have a chance in the series to those who say that they don't.
When I also look at this whole situation, I also am expecting a team that should be challenging them at the three-point line. And do you believe what a lot of people think, that if you slow them down, make them a half-court team, that's going to be a major advantage for Miami?
Yeah, I mean, look, if you get into a shooting battle with the Lakers and the Heat, you're feeling good as a Heat fan. Because the Heat live and die by the 3, but they've gotten this far doing it, and obviously they have the shooters to do it. The Lakers are a different animal. Look, the Lakers have shot well from 3 in the playoffs, and they've had guys that have surprised, and even AD has developed that game. But to me, obviously, their strength is the ability to attack. And if the Lakers can look at the film from the Celtics, and I know that, Spoelsman, when they use the zone at times, he's going to throw everything at them. The best way to attack the Heat is inside, and that's where the Celtics have success. I think that's where the Lakers can have success. If the Lakers get in a slow down, move it around, try to find shooting, I think it's to the Heat's advantage, because the Heat are going to play with their pace and their space and their movement, and that's their game. If the Lakers start attacking and getting inside, I think the Heat are in trouble.
I was talking about this, Will, and this sounds maybe a little crazy or a little off the wall from me, I guess. But I think that it's either Derek Jones and I know Kendrick Nunn's shot has been, has disappeared for months now. He has not been able to shoot from the outside on a consistent basis for a long, long time now. But I really feel like their defense and one of those guys has got to help contribute on the offensive end to add another shooter out there on this team, because I think that's how they're going to win, is attacking the Lakers, from the edges all over the place. Not just Goran and not just Tyler and not just the regular guys, but maybe a guy like Derek and Nunn, who did not get a lot of playing time in the last series. Maybe one of those guys needs to step up and become a part of that rotation. Do you agree?
I mean, I do, and I will say this. Not only do I agree, but someone will that we haven't seen maybe in the last series do something, and Spo will give that opportunity through the 3 series, right? They beat Indiana. All the questions about Kendrick. Kendrick comes in and gets quality minutes, has a couple of nice performances. Yeah, he struggled a bit, but he gave them a nice start. In the Milwaukee series, Spo trusted a bit more of Derek Jones Jr., his length and athleticism going up against the length and athleticism of the Bucks. And then in the last series, all of a sudden he pulls Solomon Hill out of nowhere and says, hey, Solomon, I like your toughness and your size. And while the statistics don't necessarily point to Hill being productive, Spo has said, I just like his defensive presence, his size out there. He's in the right place, and I think he helps us. So who is that person now in this series? I think the guest could be maybe Derek Jones, maybe Kendrick Nunn. And, yeah, those guys are on the court. You can't play 4 on 5. If you're on the court, you have to be able to do something production offensive-wise. And if that's going to be Kendrick, he's got to be able to knock down his shots when he gets the looks. If that's going to be Derek, he's got to be able to finish, what he does well, grabbing rebounds, putbacks, high-flying dunks. They need that person and that energy because, look, against the Lakers, as much as I said that they should have the better depth and I think have the better coaching, you're going up against AD and LeBron. You need everything you got.
I'm with you. Sports director from Local 10, Will Manso, joining us, of course, Miami Heat host. Will, the other thing that I was talking about, when Bam closed out the series against the Celtics with that last game, this young man has put the pressure on him from day one since he put on this uniform that he wants to be better and he wants to be great. And it looks like he loves these kind of challenges. And now with the Lakers and AD, this becomes another great challenge for him in obviously the biggest moment in his career, being in the NBA Finals. I think that if they can get that Bam on a nightly basis in this series, I think Miami wins this series.
Yeah, and I think you kind of hit the nail on the head on this one. I think really Bam is the difference because if you look at the difference in the Boston series, Bam elevated his game from all-star level to superstar level. He went from 15-10 to 22-12, and the difference in that is significant when you're talking about a player in a series to make that kind of jump. And Eric Spoelstra got defensive earlier in the postseason when someone asked him about Bam being more aggressive. Remember, he said, you could shove it, all these different things. And I hate people telling me what Bam should do and who he should be. But all that aside, Bam is different now. He has elevated his game. He has changed it, been more aggressive, been more attacking. And the Heat need that Bam. Doesn't have to force things. I don't think he needs to force it. Aggression and forcing things are two different things. But when you're going up against LeBron and you're going up against Anthony Davis, and you're going up against that caliber of skill, you have to match that skill with it. And the one guy on the Heat that has that skill set to elevate his game to an even other level is Bam Adebayo. You know what you get in Jimmy. Jimmy's a consistent, proven guy. But Bam still has meat scratching the surface of what he can be. And boy, it'd be a great time to see games see that player in these finals.
I know he's aware of this, Will, but he's got to make sure he stays out of foul trouble because, look, I like Olynyk and I like Leonard Myers-Leonard. Those are nice players, and they're nice role players off the bench, but they don't bring what this guy brings or most people bring on defense. These guys aren't going to be impactful on defense, and they're not going to command the kind of attention that this guy does. He is a complete difference maker, and they don't, see, at least if AD gets in trouble, they've got two pretty decent defensive type centers that can help them out and those kind of if you lose Bam because of foul trouble, it becomes absolutely crippling for this team.
Yeah, and I think, it's funny, Bam knows that. He was asked about it yesterday. I listened into his media session. He said, look, my biggest thing is I got to keep being myself, but I got to avoid the ticky-tack fouls. I just can't get ticky-tack fouls. And we saw there were times in this postseason.
The reach-ins you're talking about.
Where,
yeah.
And, it comes from a good place because it comes from Bam trying to make a play, but you got to be smart. If a guy's got a rebound on you and you're there, just let it go. Don't try to reach in and grab it or get that, loose ball that he's getting and gather him and then you can hit a guy's legs. You just got to avoid those fouls. And, again, it comes from a good place because Bam has so much energy and effort, but they cannot go anywhere with Bam getting in foul trouble. I'll be honest with you. To me, the most stressful moments of the Heat game are non-Bam minutes. When Bam isn't on the court, they're a completely different team because not only what he does defensively, but I mean, he brings the ball up the court. He stands at the top of the key and facilitates the offense. To see a guy of his size and ability to do that is so rare, and they need him on the court as much as possible.
Are you expecting a little bit of what they did in the Celtics with LeBron, that they're going to pick him up early in the half court or somewhere around there, and then have that help defense ready to kind of slow him down and slow that offense down because they don't want to get in some kind of a track meet with these guys. So how do they do that, Will? What are you expecting?
I mean, we saw the blueprint a bit with the Giannis series before Giannis got hurt with the Bucks. You know, the way that they would have four guys on Giannis, and they could basically build a wall around them. And I think that's an efficient and effective way to do it. The problem is, you can't lose sight of AD, and LeBron is so good at finding his teammates. I will happily allow other guys to shoot shots and LeBron give it up, except Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is a force. So LeBron's going to do his best to get around that. But LeBron is a great basketball player, high IQ. He's going to find his guys. So for the Heat, it's a matter of not only collapsing him and stopping him just as he's crossing half court, but making sure that doesn't mean that Anthony Davis then finds the basket one-on-one or gets the ball close to the basket with easy layups and dunks. And, there's nobody on the Heat that can truly contain Davis once he gets on those low blocks and he's down there by the basket. I mean, that's just it's too much to ask. But I do think that is the start. Look, we saw it. The funny thing is, in the early season matchups, which seemed like 10 years ago, James Johnson was asked to do that. And JJ was, as a big body, was kind of the first line of defense as LeBron crossed half court. And I think you could see some of that today with a couple of guys starting tonight to try that, because I think it's worked and it's been effective. But again, when it comes to LeBron, he's so smart. He makes the right basketball plays. It can burn you. There's no doubt about it. Where Giannis couldn't figure it out and he couldn't handle it, LeBron absolutely has a different set of skills and I think basketball IQ to be able to handle it.
Yeah, so you're expecting Butler, Jay Crowder, you're expecting Iggy, all these kind of guys to kind of take a little piece of the responsibility of trying to at least slow LeBron down.
Yeah, we saw. I think Giannis is the blueprint. I think Jay, it's a good point we bring up Jay. Look, Jay struggled with his shooting, but the one thing he doesn't struggle with is his effort on defense and buying guys up. Right. And they need him. They need Iggy. They need those guys to provide that muscle.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I was already having a problem at the last game of the Celtics series because Crowder has been in a complete. He's kind of gone back to really what he is at three-point range. He's really not that good. It's like watching Rondo for the Lakers hit three-pointers. Jay Crowder and Rondo aren't going to be guys that's supposed to hit the three-pointer on a consistent basis. And in the final games of that Celtics series, outside of Game 1, he was in a funk for those 5 games, and I think that's something that they've got to get a feel for early on, Will, that if he's off, get off of that and pass the ball and settle for a 2, but you can't keep going 0 of 7 and 1 of 6 and 3 of 10 and those kind of things. He's been hurting them from 3 lately.
Yeah, and I think Spo has said throughout, keep shooting. But as the series went on against the Celtics, he was quicker to pull Jay in some moments and go a different way. Because the reality is this: Jay's going to keep getting open looks. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. But like you said, if he starts up 0-3, 0-4, and he's not hitting them, and he's struggling, you just can't keep going to that. You just can't. You have to at some point. You have enough shooters and enough balance on this team that you can't let, and especially against the Lakers, because here's the issue with the Lakers. Unlike the Celtics, who had issues holding leads, and the Celtics, he made those 2 big comebacks in Game 1 and 2. If you get buried in a hole against the Lakers, it's going to be very hard to come back. I'm talking about a hole within a game. So if you're down, 57-40 early, to come back on the Lakers, it's just, you could do it against the Boston team. Against the Lakers, the way they play, it's just very, very difficult to come back, and you can't allow a couple of players that are cold to keep just shooting and missing shots as you get in that kind of hole.
Is there a guy that, I'll explain it this way, Will. You got to fear Goran because he can get hot and beat you, and Tyler can get hot and beat you, and Jimmy can get hot and beat you, and Bam can get hot and beat you. There's a slew of guys. For the Lakers, once we get out of LeBron and AD, is there really a guy to fear?
I mean, this is why I was telling you earlier, you have quality players. You already mentioned Rondo. We have, you talk about Kuzma. You talk about these guys. I mean, clearly they have players. It's not, they have some solid players, but when you look at guys that could take over a game, I mean, they don't have Tyler Hero. What Tyler Hero did, the Lakers have a guy who's going to score 37 off the bench.
No.
They're going to have a guy that's like Goran Dragic, do the things he does, the way he took over game 1 and 2 against Boston at 29 and 25. Like Jimmy Butler, we already saw his explosion. We saw what Bam did. We see with Duncan, when he gets hot, he can hit 5, 6, 7 threes. Again, it's hard to say you set aside LeBron and AD, because how do you set aside 2 future Hall of Famers, 2 of the top 5 players in the league? But when you get by the incredible top 2 players they have, the Heat have a significant advantage, in my opinion, and I think you agree, to be able to kind of stay close in these games, have a couple of guys get hot, and win these games late.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Will Manso, of course, sports director for Local 10, joining us, and Heat host. Will, when you look at the game tonight, what's your prediction? I got Heat in 6. I'm going with the complete homer approach. I think they're going to shoot the hell out of them in this series, and I think that's what's going to end up winning is the half court and bombarding them from 3.
And look, we didn't talk about this beforehand, but I said Heat in 6 against Boston. I think Heat in 6 against LA. As great as the Lakers have 2 amazing players, I think the Heat are a better all-around team in the sense that I think they could go out and hit lights out, 40% from 3, hit 17 of 42 from 3, and just bombard you with that and play aggressive enough defense to pull out games. I really do, and I know that's a homer pick, and I get it. That's all right. We cover this team. We're in Miami. I get it, but just from a strategic basketball standpoint, I like what the Heat can do against this Lakers team. I feel they have the right makeup to win these games in this style. Now, if the Heat don't hit their threes, Lakers are going to win this series in 5, and that's just the reality of it. Because if the Heat not shooting threes, forget about it. They have no chance.
No, I'm with you. The Marlins, my brother, you know your baseball. You're a seam head. You're one of the few that's left on this planet. Just out of curiosity, you're feeling this too, right? 3-game set, my brother. We've watched enough baseball. Anybody can win in baseball in a 3-game set.
Yeah, and when you look at their 3 starters, I mean, you got Sandy, Sixto, Pablo. Those are 3 young guns, and these guys don't have enough experience, and it may come back to hurt them in the postseason. But my goodness, to me, if I'm going to throw out young arms and hopefully they have big games and you can steal a couple of wins and move on to the next series, I'm not sure there's a team in baseball that has 3 young arms like that to just throw at you. There's teams that obviously matter. Saw the Yankees last night with Garrett Cole, and you see teams around baseball with stars, like just young arms where you don't know kind of what to expect, but they're electric type guys. I'm excited. I mean, to me, this is, people have said the Heat is kind of, they're playing with house money in the finals. I don't, I get that theory, but I feel like the Heat are a championship team. I don't, and it's okay to say this. The Marlins aren't a championship team in the sense that this is nowhere close to where they want to be.
Right.
Most of their future is still developing, and whether it's the young guys I just mentioned or guys that haven't even played in the majors, this is a huge step to just the process of their growth to be in the postseason. So I wouldn't doubt that they could win 2 out of 3 in this series because of those young guys and their mentality of not caring, and they just the way they've gone through a season. But I think more excited than anything, though, is that I think the future's bright for the Marlins. I think they have a lot of young players in the pipeline that are coming through, and this team has got a really nice core for the next few years.
Yeah, and it's the twisted part is that their minors didn't get their season, which would have helped for development. Their major league players didn't get 160. They only got 60 out of the 100. But the part that becomes priceless, dude, is that these dudes are going to walk away with playoff experience. And that itself right there is so freaking priceless, bro. It really
Jeter mentioned it the other day. Jeter said in his call the other day, he said, look, man, when I was young, I went through these experiences, obviously a little different playing for the Yankees, the expectations, but, I mean, it's invaluable. Like, what you experience here, even from afar, even the guys that aren't playing, that are just like on the taxi squad or, and on the bench, just to be able to take this in at 21, 22, 23 years old, it's the best story in baseball, and if it weren't for the Heat in the finals, it'd be the best story in town.
I'm with you there, bro. Well, as always, my brother, thank you for taking some time. and dropping some knowledge, man. Oh, by the way, walk us through your Sun Sports coverage today, because I know it's a little different since they're in the NBA Finals and you guys aren't carrying the games, but you have your pre and post stuff, right?
Yeah, so it's double. I'll do a double pitch. Number one for Channel 10. Since we have the game from Channel 10, we have a pregame show at 8 o'clock, then the game, and then our news after. And then I know Fox Sports, Sun Sports does a great job. They got the whole crew at 7:30 starting to get the pregame going, and then a postgame. So they can't show the game, but they're going to have Jackson, the whole crew, and Eric, and everybody, Crowdy, everybody keeping you informed.
All right, good stuff. And you have the Marlins on PLG, don't you?
Yes, sir, today and tomorrow.
Look at that, boy. You guys are dominating, my man. I appreciate that. Thank you, Will. I appreciate you, man.
You got it, We'll talk soon, buddy.
All right, baby. Be good. There you go. The great Will Manso joining us from Local 10. He's got the heat in 6 just like I do. I like it. I like it. I don't know what you did, but you can switch it back maybe so I can hear myself, because I can't hear myself at all. I don't know what happened. I don't know what the hell it is, but it is something really weird.
It's your headphones, because I could hear me. Yeah, everybody could hear you.
It was weird because I didn't hear myself. I didn't hear Will. I was hearing myself, and then it switched over. Now I didn't hear. I don't hear myself, but I heard Will.
I was over here podcasting, so
odd.
That's your headphones, brother.
I have no idea what the hell is going on, but anyway, I'm not doing any more phone calls, so I don't need to listen to myself. But anyway, if you want to get in here on the program, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program, you can reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. What do we have on the text line here? He'd have a great team. Lakers have better stars. Dion Waiters will be laughing if Lakers win. But Dion Waiters hasn't done anything, so he can laugh, but he's just riding coattails for something that he really didn't contribute to. Let's see. My dad knows someone who had COVID, and they said Z-Pack, vitamin D, and zinc were helpful. Okay. I think that stuff is unpredictable at this point, and I think some things will help some people, and some of that stuff won't help other people. It's really, really weird the way it works out. Butler needs to score 18 to 20. I know he doesn't need to, but this is the time. I'm not willing to take 30 shots, but score 18. I think Jimmy has to come with the intensity. If that requires points, then yes, you drive to the hole, you get as many points as you can. But if it requires defense, because Duncan and Bam are scoring, and Goran is scoring, and Tyler is scoring, then Jimmy doesn't have to score 18-20. If he's defending and facilitating and stealing the ball, then that's fine too. So I don't think you specifically need points from Jimmy. What I think you need is Jimmy's intensity and energy right from the get-go is what you need. And you always get that anyways, but I think obviously with this series left, one of the things I love is Iguodala scoring 15 in that last game against the Celtics, because I want to get him more involved in a series like this now. So I'm glad that he was a bigger part of what was going on in the playoffs, because I think he can be a big part of this series. Jimmy, Jay Crowder, Iggy, these guys are going to be important to put a body on LeBron. You're not going to stop the dude, but you've got to try to slow him down, and you've got to meet him halfway. Pick him up at half court, slow the game down, force the Lakers to be a half-court team, force the Lakers to shoot from three-point range, which they're not good, okay? And then all of a sudden it becomes a heat game. If they make it a track meet with LeBron and AD, it's over. Miami can't win that game. That's not the game that Miami has to play. Miami has to slow it down and play a defensive game off of a half-court offense. That's how they're going to excel, because they're better than the Lakers at that. And they've got shooters everywhere. That's why I keep saying that it's funny that you saw Solomon Hill become a part of the last series. You've watched Iggy become a bigger part of all the playoff games now. I really believe that either Derrick Jones Jr. or Kendrick Nunn, who hasn't shot well forever, but I believe one of those two guys has got to be a part of this. And I think it's more Derek Jones Jr. That athleticism and his length, I think, can help out in a series like this. Because if they do run up and down, you need a guy like that. If you can slow them down and make them on half court, then you're going to have a great help defender in Derek Jones Jr. And an occasional three also from Derek Jones Jr. too, who has become a better three-point shooter this year than in years past. I just would love to see one of those two guys become a slightly bigger part of the offense. All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the program. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the program. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show, as always. You know the whole thing that happened at Notre Dame with the COVID outbreak, Bill, all that stuff?
I saw.
All right, do you know how it happened?
Said something about one of the people that attended the team meal.
Actually, Notre Dame head coach Brian Kelly revealing the source of the program's COVID-19 outbreak. It was all due to a pregame dinner bonding, okay? As we previously reported, Notre Dame's game at Wake Forest scheduled for this past weekend was postponed after several players tested positive for the Rona. Kelly spoke about the outbreak in detail this week, saying it started at the spread of the team's pregame meal prior to their win over South Florida on September 19th. He goes, throughout the entire time together, we had not had one meal where we sat down together. Everything was a grab and go. We get into our game situation where we have our pregame meal together, and that cost us big. We had somebody who was asymptomatic, and it spread like wildfire throughout our meeting area. Where we were eating, then it got guys in contact tracing. Kelly points out another incident during the USF game that spread the virus after a player threw up on the sidelines. The team initially thought he was dehydrated, but later tested positive for COVID. The school announced a total of 18 players have tested positive for the virus on Monday, and Kelly says the team has taken extra measures to prevent further contamination from using ballrooms for meals for more testing. As for South Florida, the Bulls postponed their game against FAU and Notre Dame after Notre Dame went public with the outbreak, but 0 players have tested positive. How about that? So they had a team meal, and that's where it ended up spreading, and then they had the player throw up also on the sidelines. And this is why last week, this same day last week, I on Tuesday night, overnight, I slept with my mouth open. The air hit my throat. And on Wednesday here, I felt while I was doing my show that my throat was starting to close up. And I felt like I was getting the cold. So immediately as I left here, I went somewhere to go get a COVID test. Right away. Why? Because I go to several sponsors. I work with Inter Miami. I work with this guy every single day. I knew that I didn't have it, but I had to make sure. Whereas Notre Dame sees the guy throwing up on the sidelines and says, oh, he's just dehydrated. But if you know what's going on in this country and you know that actually throwing up is a symptom, even if you think it's dehydration, go test them anyway. I knew what I had was not COVID. I knew it. But I said, you know what? I have to do the responsible thing for everybody else. You know what I mean? Because once somebody hears that I have a cold, they're going to go, whoa, wait a minute. Hey, you got COVID? And you should at least do the decent thing of going to get a test because, ladies and gentlemen, what this is all about is protecting everyone else. You have to be selfless in all of this. That's all. It's really simple. If you take a selfless approach to COVID, we're all going to be fine. You wear the mask not because you're in fear of getting sick, but just in case you are sick, you won't get somebody else sick. Hopefully, the mask also protects you from getting sick. You hope. It's not perfect, but it helps. But what it also is going to help is keeping everything trapped up so you don't get others sick. And that's where, but think about this. For the people, oh, I'm dying to go out to a restaurant. Well, there you go.
No, well, Notre Dame was staying. They had the outbreak at school, remember? And they shut down, blah, and they, had to do whatever they did. They let their guard down and went outside the realm of what they've been doing to stay safe. Hey, let's get together and have hey, we got some wins, things are back to, okay, we let our guard down for a minute. Look what happens.
Can't let your
You
guard down.
have to stay.
Long time.
That's why we're back where we are now, because we did this back a couple months ago, right? We let our guard down.
Yeah, exactly. And you just cannot do that nowadays, man. You got to watch out for each other. That's just the best way of doing it all. And there you go. Notre Dame, they end up getting it.
Hey, man, we got an update on our Marlins, by the way. I've been over here doing this. I haven't seen anything at all.
It was 0-0. They're in a commercial break right now. Third inning is what I saw. I can actually pull up the scoreboard since they're still in a commercial break, and I'll tell you. But it was 0-0 in the third inning. I'll give you an update now at the moment.
Okay.
Man of 1,005 hosts says it's 0-0. Yes, end of the third, 0-0. So we're going top of the fourth and it's still scoreless. Middle of the 10th, the Reds and the Braves are scoreless. Okay.
Middle of the okay.
Yeah,
And
top
remember,
of the sixth, Astros are tied at 1.
Remember the
There has
extra
been
innings.
one run scored in 19 innings of baseball between 3 games.
Wow.
I'm sorry, 2 runs scored in 19 innings of baseball because it's a 1-1 game now between the Astros and the Twins. So 2 runs scored in 19 innings pitched of baseball in 3 games.
Don't forget that this
That's awesome.
extra innings reverts back to standard. Nobody on base. We're playing straight up.
Well, it's the playoffs.
It's the playoffs.
Yeah,
so
it's the playoffs.
well, some people don't know that.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
It reverts back to standard. Nobody's on base. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what? Talking about baseball craziness, you ready? The biggest pitching matchup yesterday was Bieber and Cole.
Yeah.
And what game?
Cole's such a slacker.
What
13
game?
strikeouts, no walks.
What game?
Didn't he do at least 20? Come on.
Listen, bro. What game had the most runs?
That one.
The marquee pitching matchup is the one that produces the most
Bieber
runs.
allowed like 8 runs, dude.
Yeah. Well, did you watch the game?
Some of it.
Okay, because it
it was only
LeMahieu came out in. I mean, dude, he's the only person to ever win an American League and National League batting title ever. So yeah, the guy's a professional hitter. Wham! He smacks one into right field. First pitch, Judge. See ya. It was 2-0 that quick.
I know.
Yeah, I think the kid had thrown 4 pitches. It was his first playoff game. And you know how? And look, we've seen this.
I personally think the real problem was his name is Bieber. That's
agree.
kind of what I was
have a
thinking yesterday.
Well, you know what? But we've
I
seen
was
this
thinking
with
about that
Kershaw.
yesterday. I think that was really no. But
Kershaw's had problems in the playoffs.
I just think,
because you're great doesn't mean it transcends to the playoffs.
I just think that anything related to Justin, it's just not a good thing. So that's what it is. He had the
He
name
has a complex
Bieber.
because of the Bieber name.
Yeah, he had the Bieber thing, and so he got bopped around because he's a Bieber. And I think the Yankee players really hate Bieber's music, so they took it out on his ass. I'm sorry, I said 8 earned runs. I just looked it up. It's 7 earned runs. He gave up 9 hits, 7 earned runs. He did pick up 7 Ks in the process.
Everybody got hitting, man. I mean, Glaber hit a homer. And actually nice to see Stanton hit one at the end of the game in the 9th.
Yep.
He had, but he had been swinging the bat so bad. He looked horrible, man.
Yep.
He had struck out like 3 times before. That one swing, hopefully it gets him righted.
Yep.
Hopefully.
We'll see. We will see.
Hey, look, I'm not asking for much.
Poor guy needs to change his name, Troy says.
I'm not asking too much. I'm just asking for a Marlins, a Yankees, and a Heat win. Obviously not in that order. I'll go Heat, Yankees, Marlins in priority, but, looking for 3. That's all.
There you go. All right. Let's see. What else do we have? Do we have any of the? Let me check.
Hey, what are you, 53 and 364 days old? Is that correct?
Yeah. Tomorrow's the birthday. Tomorrow I'm 54. That's crazy. Tomorrow I'm 54 years old.
I'm just really
just
glad.
Another day.
I'm just really glad that you're 1 year.
We're
and
an older
2
fart
months.
tomorrow, is what we are.
Nah, dude, you turned 29 again, bro.
Yeah, I would love to think that. That would be fantastic.
Well, you just keep telling your body that, and you'll just stay being you, bro. That's what I do.
Yeah, that may help me mentally. I'll be fooling myself, but whatever. I'll take it. I'm trying to pull up the damn chat board so I can check out the text line. And I don't know why the hell this thing is freezing up on me. But, see
you
if
got your
guys sent it.
headphones acting up. You got your text line acting. What's happening? Do you know what it is?
Actually, what happened to me, well, let me read this
No,
first.
they're all feeling 54 years old, and they're falling apart like you. That's what it is.
Good afternoon, everybody. Big O, I have two fantasy dilemmas. My first is I have Aaron Jones and Nick Chubb as running backs 1 and 2. My bench backs are Zach Moss and Philip Lindsay are hurt. I just picked up Frank Gore for Tariq Cohen. Am I good? Well, I don't know. I mean, well, you know what? Adam Gase will use Frank Gore, so yeah, I guess you're good. Second dilemma on my other team, I lost McCaffrey, who is out for the season, who is out for at least 3 more weeks. I have Nick Chubb, Deion Lewis, Latavius Murray, and Frank Gore. I have a stacked receiving core. Should I ride out the injury or use my depth at receiver to try to trade for an upgrade at back? I would trade for always another back if I can get one. If you're loaded at receiver and you can trade like your last receiver for a running back, I would do that, Ron, in Michigan. Okay? And I get for Frank Gore, you're not really going to get much points. So maybe you're better off trying to find a handcuff just in case there, if there's like an injury-prone type back out there that's starting and playing well right now, try to get his backup. Okay? I hate to say it, but the kid in Minnesota always gets injured. So maybe you're better off getting his backup. Something like that. Because he's always going to break down, unfortunately. So that's if you need the immediate points right now with Gore, that's fine. But if you don't and you're just using it as depth, I would search for the best handcuff running back I can find, and then that's the guy that I would wait for just in case that injury does happen. Then the handcuff guy takes over, and you have a much more productive player than really what Frank Gore is going to be. Frank's not going to give you much. Kalen Ballage, there you go. Put Ballage on your roster. You guys are bad. You look good, 0 for 54. Just try and keep your weight down. That's the hardest part. I gotta get back to that and losing my weight back again because I gained like 20 pounds or something terrible. I gotta get it back. All that quarantining was not good for me. And of course, a lack of discipline, which is the reason why I always deal with my fat issues, as always. But anyway, yeah, we'll try to do our best to get back on track, and we'll try to survive a couple more years. Is what we'll do. Anyway, we got to wrap it up on the show. As always, we thank all of you out there. We thank all the great people out here: Jason, Jose, Alex, Tommy, all the great guys out here, as always, making it nice and easy for us to broadcast at VSS West Pines. We got to thank our super chatters. Cookie Vice, Myron, who did it 3 times today, Ray Grulong, Kenneth Cleveland, Big J doing big things. Appreciate all of you chiming out there in the super chat.
No way.
Yes way. No way. Yes way.
They were fantastic.
Super chat. Appreciate you all out there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, I still can't hear myself. It's weird.
Just in the event that Herbie is listening, I hope he is the most miserable guy tomorrow when he sits down with us.
Oh, okay, because
of his Lakerness.
Yes.
I'm just sorry, Herbie. Just want to throw it out there.
Herbie at Toyota of Hollywood. Remember, we double dip tomorrow. We're at Toyota of Hollywood for 2 hours from 10 to 12. And then we're at Hialeah Park from 2 to 5. So got a bunch of good guests for you and everything already set up. We got a loaded show. Hopefully we'll be talking about a Heat win tomorrow and them taking a 1-0 lead in this best-of-7 series.
Where are we tomorrow at Hialeah?
Oh, we're at Champions Sports Club.
Okay.
We're at the because remember we've got the big horse race this weekend.
Simulcast Center, yes.
Yes, so we'll be at the Champion Simulcast Center tomorrow. So if you are going out to Hialeah Park, we normally are in the Flamingo Lounge. We're going to be in the second floor Simulcast Center, which is on the south side of the building. A big, beautiful place where you can wager on all the tracks around the country, and obviously the big race this weekend too.
That place is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
It's like, it's
cool.
literally
We'll be
like
right
being
by
in
the bar, by the way.
It's like being in one of the rooms in The Shining. That movie, the size, the way it's set up with the wood and every man, it's
Without
awesome.
the creepy
Yeah.
girls or
Of
Jack
course,
Nicholson
well,
tell you, Jax,
there's no
yeah.
red room, none of that. No,
no red room. No
it's just
bleeding
like
walls?
walking back in time. It's like being in the 1920s or 30s. Just how everything was on a grand scale.
Oh yeah,
it's really cool.
Yep, definitely. So we out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you all for keeping it locked. We thank all the great people out here at VSS West Pines. Y'all be good. Much love.
Go Marlins. Go Heat.